Hello and welcome to another episode of Life Talks with Fawole. We have the voice behind the camera, we have the wizard, come on, and the crazy Craig Simons. Hello. Welcome. He's not really crazy, I just like to call him crazy. He's my friend.
Crazy sometimes.
Crazy sometimes.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Like the Joker.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone goes a little crazy sometimes.
Everyone likes the Joker, right?
Come on. Craig, my man, it's good to have you here. I'm glad you're here.
It's been a little while.
Yeah. We actually worked together on a film that Craig produced, wrote,
Directed,
starred in.
Very narcissistic.
Coordinated. Yeah. Very driven. I'll call you driven.
Yeah.
I'll call you driven.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know what you want, you know what you want to see, and or even tenacious as well. Tenacious that you don't let things stop you. That's the sort of person who you kind of. Like how I interpret you. How do I know you?
For a mutual friend.
Was it Wesley?
Female? Yeah.
Was it Wesley?
Yeah.
Wesley's quite crazy as well, you know. God bless you, Wesley. Love you.
I haven't seen her for a while either.
Yeah.
We were doing. I think I met you when she was trying to do like a reimagined Macbeth, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then I think was it either we met. I can't remember where it was. Like
the rehearsal space, wasn't it? Stratford,
Stratford.
Yeah.
And we met there. Then I think we did another one in the park.
Yeah.
And then I think the dude that was playing the lead,
Macbeth.
Yeah, he got something. His agent basically went, "Yo, you've got to do this instead of this," and so the project just dropped. And so and just from there, really
dissipated. But then we got back together when you was embarking on that project, Doghouse.
Yeah.
So kindly allowed me to have a part in that as well, which I enjoyed doing.
As Errol.
Errol was a trainer, right?
Yeah, it was actually Errol. All the characters in it were based on real people, almost like not exactly, but I use like names and people. Like Errol was actually based on a boxer, a real boxer that I knew that I worked with that had died.
Okay, rest in peace, man.
And so he was actually from Coventry as well, from where I'm like originally from.
Okay.
So there was like all this connection.
Coventry, come on!
Oh yeah. And then so I was working in Lombard Street near Bank, and that's where I met him.
Errol.
Yeah, Errol Christie. So he was like one of the best amateur boxers that England ever sort of produced and stuff.
Errol Christie, yeah?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Errol Christie.
He's got a book as well. Very interesting life. He went through a lot of hard times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I thought, it'd give me a little bit of inspiration. Yeah.
What area was he from, that one?
What, in Coventry?
Yeah.
I can't remember actually. If you put his name in, search Errol Christie. You'll find him. He was like top amateur. He's got a book as well. I think it's got the Union flag on, I think, if I remember right. And Sav was based on the owner of Muscleworks.
Muscleworks. Sav, that was out to you. The owner of Muscleworks Gym.
Yeah.
We know who you are. If you know who he is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
And I actually had a tracksuit from Lou and Wendy. Lou was that Muscleworks as well. He has the Bethnal Green one. So that the attire I had on in the film.
It was
actually
good.
his apparel. It was a nice bit of gear as well.
I've seen it before. I've seen it when I've been down to Muscleworks and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've seen it since. I was it was good. But so Sav was based on him. I would have, Steve. You met Steve. I liked him to bulk up a little bit. The guy that played Sav.
Steve was the one who wore the vest.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Steve was a good actor because he was a million miles away from what Sav is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Million miles away from what Sav is.
He's a little bit more fruity.
Fruity.
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Hold on. You know what? I don't think it would matter if he was fruity or not. It's just Errol. Sav and the guy. What's the guy?
Which one?
The guy we're talking about. No, not Jordan.
Oh, Steve.
They're just so far apart as in just characters and everything.
Yeah.
Fruity or no fruity.
That's what's good.
Because you can have a fruity Sav. I know Sav's not fruity, but you can have a fruity Sav.
Yeah.
Like when we say fruity, we mean gay. But but it wouldn't matter. He still would have that tenacity about him. But Errol was just, I keep saying Errol. No, not Sav. The guy who played Sav. Steve was he was a lot more soft. He was a lot softer.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's very soft.
He's one of those where it's like, if we had longer, I would have wanted to get him to a point where to bring out more of his hard, aggressive side more. You know what I mean? His natural tendency is to go a bit more.
Yeah, his natural tendency.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more soft, or he'll try and act a little bit tough. But instead of literally being there and being like, yo, this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we worked on it quick, and it was. I think he did good. He sort of fitted the look that I was sort of looking for.
That reminds me of it. Reminds me of when he used to tell me in acting school that when you're drunk, you don't act that drunk. You're not that drunk. You try and hide the fact you're drunk. So when you're playing someone who's drunk, don't be you don't you say you're act tough. Don't act tough. You more try and hide the fact you're drunk. So you're more like you try and kind of like be more regal. So like in that sense, you don't play the tough, but you're just tough, innit?
It's more the intention, right?
Yes.
It's like if someone knows that they can handle themselves, they're not going to be. They still feel fear. Yeah. They still get intimidated, but you're used to being in the fire a little bit more. You can handle it. Yeah. And so a lot of people act tough, but like once you break down that barrier, they're not in it. Do you know what I mean? They can't really do it.
They fold under pressure.
But interesting with the alcohol thing, what comes to me when you said that is that Marlon Brando, he used to say, no one can act drunk, you have to be drunk.
Yeah.
So actually when he was in the film, what film was it? It's something like One Eye Jacks or something. Okay. He had to be drunk. It's either that, there was another one where it's like a cowboy film as well.
Yeah.
But he got that hammered, like they couldn't even film it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
So like spent like 2 days. It's all right if you're Marlon Brando, innit?
Yeah, you can do it if you're dead back in those days as well. You get away with it. Do you know what I mean? Or not Christopher Reeve. Or come on, Oliver Reed.
Yeah, Gary Oldman. He used to always. He was like, if you watch him in Leon.
Oh come on! I didn't know that. That's one of my favourite films.
He was like drugs on alcohol. That's why he's so mad in that.
Do you know that's one of my favourite films? You see that? You see that bit where in Leon when they he's trying to get the coke out of him and he said, okay, you always call the big guy, and they call him and he comes up and it's just like everything he does. It's like he reminds me of Christopher Walken. There's that same kind of craziness they got inside him.
Yeah.
But he takes that pill. Have you seen Leon?
I think so.
He takes a pill and he goes like that. He does some mad. He's mad. But you look at him and you think, no, this guy is mad. But I didn't know he was actually method acting.
Yeah, like he. If you look at sort of like up his sort of upbringing, if you watch a film called Nil by Mouth.
Wow, with Gary. I know that Kathy Bates and the other one, Gary Winston, and the firm.
I know who you mean. No, not Gary Winston.
It is, isn't it, Gary Winston?
No, it's not Gary
What's his name? What's his fucking... I always mess up names.
But I think it's sort of like...
He's like, he's that Cockney guy who talks like that. What's his name? And his daughter was doing stuff.
He did really bad accent in The Departed.
Yeah, it was... But I like him, so and he's British, he'd get away with it, do you know what I mean? Gary Oldman, no, what's his name? Big fat hair fella. He does a lot of the Cockney stuff. He's proper. He goes, have you seen him in Love on Another Plane?
I know exactly.
He goes, you're fat, you're ugly, I'll throw you in the lake. Now fuck off.
Yeah, he's in. Let me have a look. Like, we've got to get this.
What's his name? Gary Oldman, Gary Winston. What's it? Something Winston.
So Gary Oldman actually directed that film.
Wow. It was a good film.
Yeah, it's heavy.
It was a lot. Yeah. I couldn't watch it. I'm sorry.
Ray Winston.
I knew it was a Winston. Winston. Sorry.
Like, and actually, Gary Oldman's sister is in that as well. In
Nil by Mouth?
Yeah, she was in EastEnders for years, Gary Oldman's sister. People didn't realise, but that's actually his sister. It is, if I remember...
Layla Moores?
I can't remember what her name is.
Kathy Burke.
No, Kathy Burke she's a good actor.
Layla Moores is the one that was in EastEnders. She was...
that must be her. I'm sure. Yeah, what's her name? Like,
Little Mo.
Yeah, that's it. That's. I'm sure that's his sister.
That makes sense, you know. That does make sense.
Yeah. Oldman.
It makes sense. But you know what? I couldn't watch it because of the subject matter. Like, I really get engrossed in films, and to be honest, I haven't seen the film. I know about the film, won loads of awards and stuff, because it's about violence, like domestic violence and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's heavy.
I can't. I couldn't sit through it. I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't advocate it. So we literally can't watch it. Like, I can't watch it. Like, no, it is a really.
But it's one of those sort of films where you're like, you'd be happy if you filmed it. Do you know what I mean? Like because as actors, you have to go there quite hard for it to be real, to take off. You know they're not really, hopefully, hitting each other. But for those intentions, that's where I know it's a bit of a wanky term, but the art comes out of it where you're like, I can't watch it because it's so heavy and real.
Most definitely.
But that's the great thing.
And I would literally I'll do it. Take my hat off to all of them because I know that it had some really strong actors in there, and that's the reason that I didn't watch it, because I believe Kathy Burke was being abused. Kathy Burke's a strong actress, so I couldn't watch it because it was sad to imagine someone being in the house and literally there'd be points where. Like, I've seen bits of it and someone's just like, you fucker, and I know people go through that in the house where there's one person being abusive, and I couldn't do it. But like you said, power to them because they've got that performance, of course.
But that's what strong. It was strong, people, right?
No, I know.
No, I mean, like when people watch films, because I know people who have gone, like I want to watch films that I sort of go that literally pulls me into them, and it moves me like heavily.
Yeah,
and that I want to see and feel that trauma that I've sort of been through or experienced or seen in a certain way.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we see a reflection of what the world can really be like, you know, and it can take you on a journey. But some people, they almost, people I've spoken to who don't like really heavy films sometimes, like often they just want to watch a film to get away. This is where they have the really pretty actors and stuff. Literally, someone said to me, I don't want to watch anyone that's a little bit like Philip Seymour Hoffman or like this. I want to see good-looking people on the screen. I was like, right, so Marvel and all that lot. Where you know nothing. I don't want you know about death and pain and suffering and all that sort of thing.
But
it's real though.
But okay, don't you think that's like not to digress? We're going to go back to this, but that's like the person who wants to. Who you I know to be, you'll have the raw nut, but I want the sugar coated nut, I want the honey roasted nut. Do you know what I mean? It's still the nut. I still think I'm getting the same nutrients of it. We're gonna go to that afterwards, but I don't want the raw nut. I want to feel a little like while I'm having it. Or I just want to be sheltered or have that barrier.
It depends on what you watch movies for. You know what I mean? Like, same like with music. Some people listen to music for fun. Some people listen to music to escape. The same with movies. They watch movies to escape. So if it's too close to reality, it just puts people off. No, but then you're right, absolutely right. And but there's a thing where some people want that. That's the difference. I don't watch horrors. Loads of people love horrors. I don't want to be scared.
Or the emotional journey, right?
No, I don't. I don't mind emotional films that end up with like good ends and stuff. Yeah. Or emotional films like Nil by mouth, for argument's sake, if the protagonist or the protagonist gets their just desserts in the end, then I'm all right with it. Yeah. But if it continues or there's no cap to it, there's no end to it, and I'm left to my imagination to cap the story, that I don't like that kind of stuff. And I don't like, or the person is still left being a slave, or I need it to be a happy. I need a happy ending, basically.
Some of it's to do with your life experiences.
Yeah.
Growing up, like how you grow up and what you've experienced in life is what you tend to sometimes what you like to watch or you don't like to watch. Yeah. Because I feel like people that go through...
Sometimes can ring true, right? Yeah. And I'm like, don't talk about that.
Exactly.
I want to see it. Yeah.
And it's almost like what you get to experience as well. It's like watching the Discovery Channel as well. Do you know what I mean? Some people get to watch a movie and experience that feeling. Whereas maybe some people feel like that feeling's too close to home. So I don't want to watch that. Yeah. And that's where maybe like horrors, you might have been in a situation so close to the horrors, that is not really something you want to watch like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But for me, I can't speak for everyone. I can speak for me. I don't want to be scared. I have an active imagination. So anything I put into my mind, and I understand it, I don't know about other people, but anything I watch or put into my mind or people talk to me about, it resonates, and a seed grows all the time. That's my mind's active like that. So it could be a negative seed or a positive seed, or I'll be like analysing stuff. But the reason I watch feel-good films is because like I still believe in fairy tales, like in the sense where I want it to be good. I want you to have good intentions. I never want to fight with my brothers. You know, like I know it happens, but I want the other side to come through. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know.
I'll put a spanner in the works a little bit there. It's like sometimes, like Carl Jung, and he talks about the shadow side, right, and all this sort of thing. So, I'm not saying yourself, you might have, you've been through a lot yourself, as we spoke about. But a lot of people deny their shadow side, which makes them extremely dangerous, which means they get controlled by it. So this is going to seem a bit extreme, but this is often the point that's sort of made. A lot of people go, if I was a German in Nazi Germany, I wouldn't be a Nazi. Loads of people say that. If you accept that actually you could be, because everyone was, then you have a choice to stand up to that ideology. Because when you're in it, would you see it? You know. So Carl Jung talks about accepting your shadow side. And so that's probably what it is a little bit, is the old suffering thing, sitting there accepting this here and going, wow, that's moved me in places that makes me uncomfortable. It's like sparring, right? You put someone in sparring and they get touched and they want to run away. Other people get in it and they're like, oh, I want to get hit. It's like, look, neither of those are great, to be fair. You don't want to be hit, but you've got to sit inside.
You understand, sometimes you get hit, but you don't want to be hit.
You don't basically love it.
Like, if you could, you're supposed to be able to move around, and boxers punch themselves in the mouth. Yes. You're you, where you come from? Born and raised in Coventry?
Yeah.
Give us a rough backstory of Craig Simons, please.
And Coventry.
Yeah, Coventry.
I remember. Sorry, I'm gonna let you say your thing, right? But you know, like people used to say, "I'm sending you to Coventry." You know that thing?
No.
You never? Have you heard that? Have you heard that wizard?
That's what happened to me.
Seriously?
I got sent there. Yeah.
You got sent to Coventry?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh mate.
No, I didn't really.
I know he's a wanker. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Boom. Back in the day, like man, them like and old school man will know. Some people will know.
It's literally.
When I say I'm sending you to Coventry, that means I'm not talking to you. So like people say I sent my wife to Coventry. I sent her to Coventry. Yeah. That means they just blank her. So you've been in the house. That's babe, what do you want for dinner? Like you don't talk to them. I'll send her to Coventry. I'll send the kids to Coventry. And there's a reason for that, isn't there?
They're actually.
There's a historical thing behind it. You don't know it though.
No, I don't know. I'm just trying to.
Someone told me to set that thing, but sorry, when someone says they send to Coventry, they're not talking.
But I think maybe it's something to do with because it got bombed in the war, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing a lot of people that were, I don't know, a bit like the Australia thing and stuff like that, where people got sent over there, and then I'm wondering that you get sent to Coventry for I don't know the Labour side and stuff like that back when everything was all blown up. I don't know. That's just an idea. I wonder how close I am.
I reckon that because what you're saying makes sense. You know what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
When all the kids got sent out because London was getting bombed.
Yeah.
And they didn't get to talk to the kids. So sending them to Coventry means I never spoke to them for how long.
Yeah, I wonder if they people got sent to Coventry for like building purposes, like rebuild, like prison-esque type thing. We're going to send you there because that's all you're good for.
Or to be silenced.
Yeah.
But you're from Coventry though.
Yeah, I know.
So you should know.
I know.
So why don't you know?
Because I actually I got educated in rugby.
Rugby, okay.
Yeah.
So talk to me about Craig, man. Talk to me about Craig. Brothers, sisters, what's your age? Talk to me about your back history, because we're going to go into your current history.
I'll go sort of through it. All right, I'll start from the wee beginning. I'll go through everything.
The wee beginning.
Because like, as soon as I go about my brothers, then you've got to know about this, and this. And so there's me, my big brother, and my little brother. All right?
Three of you.
Me and my big brother have the same dad, and obviously the same mum. And my little brother, same mum, different dad. And so my dad always lived in Coventry. So I think when I was about 1, they split up. My older brother's about 7 years older than me, and my little brother's I think 3, so it's closer to us.
3 years younger than you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, since I was 1, that was my dynamic. Had my dad in Cov, and then my stepdad and my mum.
Okay.
And so we all lived in.
So you lived with the stepdad and your mum
during the week, and then at the weekend at my dad's.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, it's all right. It's a little bit. It's a weird dynamic, really. It's like when I think about it, I sort of like, this is a strange dynamic. And so my dad always lived in Cov. My mum and my stepdad moved from just outside Coventry to one point to rugby. And so my dad was always in like the same sort of job, insurance. I think it was something like Eagle Star at the point. Then went Zurich, so he did all that sort of thing. So very sort of straight-laced, always there. So when I went over to him, it would be more like, so you get your little toys, you just play by yourself pretty much and get taken to places. So I was a little bit like when I was with my dad as like a single kid. Do you know what I mean? Then when I was with like my mum and my stepdad, and when my little brother came along, it was more like I was the older brother. Then I had a bigger brother who was a bit older than me that was moving around in different things. So it was a strange.
He didn't go to see your dad when you went to go and see your dad?
He lived with my dad, so he would be doing, because he was so much older than me from what I can remember, like 7 years. So by the time I hit something like 7, he was like 14, hanging around with mates and stuff like that. So he went all the way through the school that I eventually went to before I did.
Okay, so he laid the foundation for you,
really?
Yeah,
so he'd already gone, and so like they sort of knew who I was in a certain
good foundation?
way. It is what it is. It's school, right? It's like traumatic.
Yeah, we're going to go back to that.
Yeah. School's always traumatic for most people. Or they're causing the trauma, right? It's one or the other. They probably have a traumatic part as well.
Yeah. What did you do?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like.
My man.
And so, what's interesting is that I think maybe as well as we're coming to like nil by mouth and all that sort of thing, it makes it quite interesting because my stepdad and my mum were basically sort of like pub landlords or run clubs and stuff like that. So my mum was more in care for a little while, or that side, and then my stepdad run sort of clubs in Coventry. So ran, this is like, I'm trying to, snooker clubs. That's what he ran. He had 2. And something obviously happened, then had to move over to rugby and ran another club, like a social club there. And so that was like my childhood of growing up in that. Then eventually we moved over into an actual, more like an old style pub where we lived above. So I lived above a pub. So I'd actually like see people drinking
Your
pints.
family English?
Okay.
Yeah.
Just both parents, just English.
Yeah, I think my mum's not 100% sure, but, you know, they said it when...
do the test. Let's do that heritage test,
the DNA test. It's like, you know, I don't know. I think there might be some sort of lineage to like Lithuania or something like that. You know, I think
you look Scottish though. If you was to ask me, I thought you're right, wee man.
Yeah,
you're right, wee man.
No, but if you look, some people go, you might be down like the Lithuania, sort of Russian, like I don't know, all Polish, all that side as well. So it's interesting, and
I think you're Scottish.
I might be.
I think you're Scottish. I think your attitude's Scottish. As power to Scottish people, I love Scottish people. I think your tenacity's Scottish. I just feel like you're Scottish. I want you to be
I don't
Scottish.
know. I might have been adopted and no one's ever told me yet. That might be a future episode. Who knows? I'll be like, guess what, guys? I found this out.
Wow.
I'm sure Coventry's not far from Scotland. You know what I mean?
It's not. Yeah, easy.
But for anyone listening in London, they think it's like next to each other. Isn't it?
No, isn't it close?
No.
Sure.
You go through some geography. So like very very early on, like I saw people drinking alcohol, and like my dad was like a smoker, and so very early my sort of ideology, I don't know, I was a bit like anti-smoking. Like as a kid, I was like, everyone needs to stop smoking, it's really bad for you, and all this sort of thing. Till I got to high school and actually started saying to people, don't smoke, and they started laughing at me. That's where you learn very quickly. You're like, but it's bad, why are you doing it? And you know,
your conscience. He was a nice kid, he was a good guy.
Yeah, I had my other side though, so I was a little bit.
You embraced your dark side, was it? As we were talking about.
No, my grandmother says this. She says sort of like, she went like, I've always been like the naughty kid, like the bad, but always lovable. Do you know what I mean? Not like, you know, my mum sometimes jokes to me that I've got 666 on the back of my head.
You know?
And that I was going to be called Damien at one point, and from The Omen.
Yeah. So, I know David is right.
Yeah, and so
and my barber.
But that's the thing. It's like the thing is that I would have that side, but also as a kid growing up, a lot of like mood swings and stuff like emotional things.
Dark side to you,
quite a lot. And so. And my grandmother used to say, like, if you tell Craig to put his seatbelt on, he would jump in the front seat of the car instead of putting the seatbelt on the back of the car. You know, that sort of thing. But it wouldn't be like, I'm going to do this it would just be like a rebellious sort of streak. So, you know, I think, I don't know what that's from, how that is, but...
Can't it just be you?
Yeah, some sort of truth. That's what I mean.
Yeah, can't it just be you? Because can't everyone, because some people are born happy, some people are sad, some people are born, like... wherever they're born, you know.
Yeah.
It's just we're born how we're born, and then as we grow up, whatever comes into our life programs us into certain things. That's what changes us. If you just had the raw you, just, when you're young, your kid is just raw emotions. Can't it just be how you was? And you learn how to be what you are now, like whether it's right, wrong. You know, some people conform, some people don't.
I think that's what it's like when you come down to the acting side and all that sort of thing. Like I think with my dad's side, there was a lot of. I had a lot of time to sort of play. Do you know what I mean? Play with toys. I used to love all that sort of stuff. So I was very creative in that. I'd make things and draw. So that's probably a lot of the creativity, but I was left to bubble with that in a sort of a good way. To
explore.
Yeah. And down my sort of the other path was probably... I'd still be able to do.
You know?
Yeah, cool. Down the other side, it was probably more of... you know, more the stepdad was more the traumatic side. Do you know what I mean? You know, because
did you not have it with him?
So he was. My mum once said she might listen to this, so she'll go, "Oh, he's talking about this."
You sure you want to say it?
Yeah, who cares? I would say it. I've said it. I said it to her anyway. And so it's like she'd often go, "Look, he was sort of said to people that he was actually quite nice to you until your little brother sort of come along, and then he just sort of wasn't that nice." You know, and so you know, it's
I've got one now. I don't need one. I don't need him no more.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know, or there might be some sort of. I don't know what it is. Is that I don't know what goes through certain people's minds. You know, in how what I don't know, like hate and anger towards things can make people act in a very, bad way that's not really their true intention. Do you know what I mean? Like look at football supporters, right? Like it's very hard for an Arsenal fan to give credit to Tottenham and vice versa. No matter what, even if they've done well, screw Tottenham, screw us, all this sort of thing. So sometimes that something's there that creates it. So who knows? So that's probably why coming back to the acting with Nil by Mouth and stuff, I quite like those heavy sort of films, and I go, that resonates with me because that really happens to people. Do you know what I mean?
So when the change happened, how much memory do you have of that?
I don't really know. So all I remember for me is a little bit more. I remember like things like happening, like the timeline, especially since I've got older over like probably the last 10 years. Certain things have sort of disappeared a little bit. But there was a lot of traumatic moments just with like parents, school, this, that, and the other. Were very high.
You used to get in trouble in school?
I'd used to. It was a bit more like we had first school, middle school, high school, if I remember rightly, or secondary school.
I'd infant. What do you call that? Primary school and secondary school. That's what I know. I know primary and secondary.
In the countryside, I don't like.
It's a little bit like
in the countryside, in the sticks. In the country,
Midlands.
in Coventry.
Is it Midlands? Anywhere outside of London is Midlands, right? Oh my.
Well,
Midlands is Midlands.
Okay,
West Midlands. You've got like South,
and
then
regionals.
Yeah, that sort of thing. You got like
in East Anglia,
Lancashire, Yorkshire.
Their schooling system's different.
It's different.
Even in Bedford, and that's not that far. Luton.
Their TV. Luton. I was
Do you get what I'm saying?
no, wait. I was about to say about Luton. Their TV's different.
Yeah.
I used to go to my auntie's back in the day. Man, I used to have East Anglia. That just reminded me. You can't watch the same program. Like I used to be like,
channels.
I put the TV on to watch something like I don't know, 18, whatever. And I'm like, huh? And it's like grandstand some rubbish. I want to swear, but just some nonsense.
But you sometimes get that on, right? Yeah. You'd get like the different names of the areas. Like,
you wouldn't get normal TV. You wouldn't get normal TV.
And so like actually Coventry actually had different schooling to rugby. They're right next to each other.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like one was Warwickshire, one was West Midlands, and so whatever that was. Do you know what I mean? So my mates when I moved back to Cov and had my mates, we spoke about school, they'd have a different setup to what I was sort of used to. So like we'd have year 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and he'd have, my mates would have something different. So going back to like with school, like I think when I was in Binley Wood's first school, I think I moved school because I basically got kicked out. So I got kicked out of that school. Like I used to fight and stuff as a little kid. I was still young, but I just like kick out and stuff like that.
What the?
Yeah, literally.
You still fight now?
No, I'm a lot more mellow.
A
lot more mellow now.
Yeah, but you still fight?
Fight who? Myself?
No, anyway, I won't digress. You do. Everyone's fighting themselves, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, boxing. You like boxing? So.
Yeah, I do more of the training than actual. Because of like all the lockdown stuff, a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like I just go to the gym to train and go. So you sort of have lost a little bit of that side. I still do the boxing, bag work and stuff.
I haven't seen you for a minute, so that's why I said what I just
said. Yeah. Because of dog house.
You're a fighter.
That was good.
Go on, sorry.
But
so you used to kick out. You said.
Say again?
You used to kick out.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was, I remember it's like, bringing it back, right? Like Billy, I got kicked out of there. Then we moved over to rugby. I don't know what the timing is. It might have been a year, 2 years. Might have been all happening around the same sort of point. And then from there, I went to Long Lawford Combined School. There you go.
Long Lawford Combined School.
Yeah, so that had first school and middle school all in one, right?
Okay.
So we're learning a lot about schooling at the minute. How complicated it is,
I don't even. I'm lost still.
And so all the way then I pretty much all went to school all the way through rugby, then into a place called Harris in rugby, and so that's where my brother went. But I think.
So was you commuting every day?
From Binley Woods,
From Coventry to rugby.
So when we moved into the pub, so after we left Coventry, we were at a place called Long Lawford where my stepdad owned the club, and then when he moved on from there, he owned the pub. It was all in one village. So I lived in Long Lawford for I don't know how many years, and then eventually we moved back to the house which we had in Coventry, just outside Cov, and so my mum still lives there now. And so
that's the house that I came to.
Yes, that's the house.
It's a nice house.
That's the house.
It's a nice house.
That's my mum's house.
Nice.
Yeah.
I liked it though.
It was good.
Sorry, yeah, it was an area I had fun with it. Sorry.
Go on. Saying when you was going to school, is it that close? Is rugby in Coventry really close?
So Binley Woods is like just outside Cov. Okay. So just outside, like literally, you know where it is because you've been there.
I've been there, yeah, but I didn't know what I was going around in circles, but I know it, but I don't know it.
Just
outside.
We don't know. Yeah. So that's the side closest to rugby in Cov, and so actually it's probably about 15-minute drive, 20-minute drive into rugby. So I lived in Long Lawford, which is close to rugby again, just outside rugby, and so it wasn't from there. It's quite easy.
Okay.
And so so when I was there, it wasn't too bad. And so,
when you're from London, you don't realise how some of these places outside are close. I was in Liverpool and they was like, "Oh, let's go to Manchester." I was like, "Oh no, let's see." It's half an hour down the road, and I'm like, "What?" Wow. Literally half an hour down the road. But you know what I'm saying? When you live in London, you wouldn't even know that. You think maybe they're miles apart.
Yeah.
I was saying that to someone the other day. We were driving from where I live now over to Tottenham Hale.
Yeah.
And it was like 45 minutes or something like that, and I was like, I could get to Birmingham from Cov in this time. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's like it's the same place, but it's just the transport. Like we're in traffic, you just can't get anywhere. Yeah. So that was eventful.
It's a lot. So with all these things going on, and in school, what got you into boxing?
Boxing? Oh, I tell you, actually, this is quite funny because I looked through some photos at Christmas when I was home. My mum got a box of photos out. Like, as you do, let's look at all these photos and stuff. You know.
1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Put it down a bit.
1, 2, 1, 2.
No, it's gone off. It's gone off.
I can't hear myself.
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2. It's
back.
back.
Yeah,
cool,
I can hear you better. I'll tell you when it goes.
Yeah, you said you could hear me before.
Yeah, I can hear you.
He wanted to be off mic, he did. He was Chris, what are you holding the mic under the table?
Doing voiceover.
You're too loud, are you? No, sorry, guys.
But, what was I saying?
You're talking about the boxing and how you got into boxing.
So there was a photo, it's quite funny, of me. I remember getting this bag, and that's where I started. But I think my original thing about sort of boxing was actually, I was quite into sort of like Bruce Lee. So I actually wanted to do Kung Fu.
Bruce Lee?
Yeah. So I was all Bruce Lee and stuff as a kid, and then stuff like Van Damme and stuff as I got a little bit older.
Yeah, I think I was the same.
So, you know what I mean? So I was more like the Van Damme side and all that lot. Yeah. Instead of less the Rocky, but I think what did I do first? I did karate first actually. Yeah, I did karate and I got a few belts. I remember now with a guy called Dev Barrett.
Dev Barrett.
Yeah. Actually, I'm just thinking about it. Like I actually had quite a few
different things you did.
And that's sort of like inspirational sort of people. Like he ran the club, but it was actually a guy, and I can't remember what his name is.
How old was you?
I was probably about 6, I reckon.
And you remember, yeah?
How do you know?
What's that?
How do you know?
37.
I was about to say 7.
Yeah.
He said he's at 8 now.
I remember them days when we was a kid. Everyone went karate.
Yeah. Bruce Lee was a man.
Yeah, that's it.
Bruce Lee was
and
a
it's
man.
like I remember then I think I did the karate. I did that with belts for a while. And I remember that, and then I can't remember what the transition was, but I remember getting a punch bag, and I remember going to a boxing club. There's like literally, there's like a boxing club. It must have been when I was living at the pub or near in Long Lawford, because there was a boxing club down the road, literally 3 minutes, and I used to go, and I was really young at that point. Apparently, I couldn't punch either because they had to get a lighter bag for me because the bags were too heavy. And like, I remember that it wasn't a hurt. I couldn't move them. And so they said, "Oh, like let's give him a lighter bag." And that was my first sort of step into boxing and all that sort of stuff. And I did a little bit of kickboxing as well at one point because I was like, "Oh, I want to do kickboxing." So I did it a lot. Then it wasn't until I moved back to Coventry when I was about like 17, I think it was.
Do you know your accent slips into, you've spoken in 3 different accents.
Oh, really?
I was with Coventry, it was about, he was Cockney all of a sudden. Sorry, carry on.
It's madness. It's like someone said that I did a short film recently, and he was going, "Oh, that one line there, you say it really posh."
Yeah, you've mixed up quite a few times, and you've just changed your accent a couple
of
times.
Isn't it? It's like, so like I didn't get back into the box until you met Mark on Doghouse, right? Mm. So Mark was the guy that filmed. He was on the counter with Steve at the very beginning. He goes like that to Steve.
Yeah.
And so we met each other at a gym called Apollo Gym.
Okay.
And we just become friends, and he was an amateur boxer and boxing. He took me into boxing, and we started. I held the pads for him, and he gave me this right hand, and literally broke my arm off.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck's sake, man. I was like, I'm never holding the pads again. And then eventually I got myself stronger, and I was like, all right. Then I started getting into the boxing myself and like working on part, and that's basically where it come from. And so, you know, I just did some training with him, a little bit of like sparring here and there. I just carried it on, really. You know, but I love watching boxing. You know, I like watching. Like Floyd Mayweather was like my favourite boxer.
Okay.
You know, I'd watch a few others. Like Tyson was when I was a bit younger. Do you know what I mean? You'd have like the David Haye sort of thing.
So how did you meet Errol? Because Errol was a boxer, right?
Yeah. So I met him when I was working at Lombard Street as a personal trainer. 'Cause that's the other job I did. Yeah. And basically, he was a boxing coach there. And so he was just there. He was actually quite a bit punch drunk at that point in a certain way. He'd been through the wars and stuff like that. Yeah. You know, but he's a lovely guy, and that's where I met him. But I met quite a lot of people.
That's a lot, though, isn't it? Like, have you ever met anyone that's punch drunk? It's a lot, isn't it? It is, man. Like, I don't, you know, like when you. Like I was on the train the other day and I saw someone who you could tell with a spread nose and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's just like when they're just like, I don't know, not Muhammad Ali, but certain people when they're like that and it's just they was there, but they've had so many things. It's just so much slower. It's a lot, mate.
Also, you don't know. Like the big thing is with a lot of people that are pro boxers and stuff like that, you don't know what else is happening. You don't know if they have any drink problems or addiction problems and stuff like that, and so.
Let's say that some people get that from just one hit.
Punch drunk.
Yeah.
Some people you could die from one. Yeah.
Some people have been hit in the back of the head with something as well, and then they got that punch drunk thing as well. So it's like, even if you don't have a career in boxing, because you know what I mean. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, even you get things like the slightly more, the body language is slightly off a little bit. The speech is a bit off. You know, you watch some of the old time like He sparred with Chris Eubank, Nigel Benn. Do you know what I mean? He was like Nigel Benn when, like, no, actually he said Chris Eubank when he hit you. But they used to spar like ridiculous, I reckon. So, you know, I asked him quite a few questions about all that. You know, and so he'd like to talk about a little bit like that, but also about the hard times of what he grew up through, because he grew up in like quite a hard time for what he was doing, you know, for the boxing, you know. And so, I think that's what basically his book's all about as well. Okay. And so
I want to say something off the back of what you said, because it's like people don't think no matter what it is. Oh, my feet are killing me. Sorry. People don't think no matter what it is. Like they just see, like, because we've spoken about here before. They just see the sports person. They don't see that they're human beings. Like you said, they could be going through drink problems. They could be going through anything. But people just see. Okay, Anthony Joshua, he's a boxer, he's supposed to be hard and everything. You're not supposed to have any sort of natural human emotions or go through anything.
Tyson Fury, right? He's been mentally had a real hard time.
Challenge,
depression, and everything.
You
know, obesity, alcoholism, drug addiction shows you that opposite side, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. Power to everyone that's made it through. If you're suffering right now, find some help. We're out to help everyone, man. Love yourself. We love you, you know what I'm saying?
I think Ricky Hatton as well, right? Like
Ricky Hatton.
And so, I know, like, the people I know that did quite a bit of boxing, I don't know, is it because, I don't know, because that discipline keeps them in it, and when they're out of that discipline, you can...
Yeah, that's another thing, though, still, as well. I think, as well, to keep your feet grounded, because I like certain sports to keep you grounded and to keep that focus, so maybe it's that, and when it stops... Only God knows what comes into their minds, or what kind of almost like skeletons or things you have to face, you're forced to face. So the quiet thing, man.
That's why I kind of, like you said, when you talk about Floyd Mayweather, because like there was times where you'd be like, his fights are shit. He doesn't ever really, you know what I mean? Well, he's never been beaten because he never fights. He's always running away. But I didn't realise the aim of the game when I was talking that. You know, I was just young.
Oh, you used to say that. Okay.
I didn't realise the aim of the game them times. I just wanted to see people scrap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you realise that's not what boxing's about.
Nah, you don't want to get hit. If you don't want to get hit.
But he's the one that taught me that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm wondering why people see him as so great, and obviously you start looking around and you start realising, right, yes, but the whole point is not to get hit.
Not to get hit,
At the end of a fight, he just looks like he just came out of the shower more times. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't look like
that's the thing about Floyd, right? Like if you literally watch his earlier fights, if you ever want to see what he can do, watch him against Gay. where he just destroys the guy, punches the absolute living hell out of him. And like I watched quite a lot of Floyd Mayweather.
Because gay.
What's that?
Gay.
Gatti.
Oh, Gatti.
Yeah, okay.
No, I didn't hear you say because the accent again. You spent it off. You didn't say this last few words. Go on.
And that's the thing. Like with Floyd, what happened with him is a lot of the time he would bust his hands on people's heads. So actually what he'd start doing, and most people that started to follow him, he was 34, 35 when he started doing his big pay-per-views. Do you know what I mean? Like he was fighting 25-year-olds. Like if you saw him when he was 25, he was annihilating people. Like he was knocking people out left, right, and centre. Then he went up weights, you know. And that's the difference with him. He adapted, he changed his style as he got older, and played the game. He was like, right, I'm gonna have 2-3 fights this year. I'm gonna get through them. I'm not gonna get injured. You watch him against Madonna, like the first one. That was a heavy fight. You watch him against when he went in against Cotto. That was like he'd just gone through some sort of relationship issue that week, and he was just like almost standing there in a certain way, you know. And it was like
he was getting hit.
He was getting caught, but he was standing in the pocket and catching, and then he was just going in more, you know. So he gets caught, but he don't really get caught. You know what I mean? Even when he's, if you watch him against Guerrero. Like there's bits where I saw him catching with shots, and Guerrero's, you know, you can see him wincing. I'm like, you could stop this guy when you wanted to. Berto, he did it with Berto, but he just took his foot off the gas, looks at the clock, back down, and back in. You know, like Alvarez, he sort of played with Alvarez. Some people go Alvarez was sort of weight drained, but Alvarez had 10 years on Floyd. You know what I mean? It's like
with the box office, do you get paid more if the fight's longer?
No.
Okay, I was wondering,
I think it's more like. Like Floyd would get like a percentage of the buys, and so that's it. So if it lasts one round, you still get paid the same. Do you know what I mean?
When you think about commercials, it's commercial breaks, isn't it?
I think when I've watched it on Matchroom, what annoys me, like pay-per-view, I'm like, oh, there's an advert in this as well. It's pay-per-view. I've given you 20 quid to watch Joshua. Do you know what
I mean? You know when they try to make, because you know that sometimes,
bad, isn't it?
You know when you watch a fight and you're like, this guy could finish him. No, why ain't he finishing him? So sometimes I wonder, is it extra money if you go longer? Like,
no, but technically, if I go watch a fight and the fight's over quick, that's fair enough. But then my night's over quick. If he can prolong it, make it exciting, why not? It's better.
So did you watch Usyk? Did you watch Usyk, Joshua?
To be honest with you, I'm such an arsehole. I watch movies. I don't know none of the fights you just said. I might have seen 1 or 2 of them. If I'm at home when the fight's on, I watch it. I don't stay awake 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to watch no fights. The only people I used to watch was Tyson, because I used to wake up in my bed Sunday morning and be able to watch him on the TV right there and then. I will watch a fight if
Frank Bruno and all those lot.
Normal TV. Normal TV. I watched that. I used to watch boxing then, but I don't watch boxing. I'm not paying for it. And then the same reason, like everyone goes there, the fight's on tonight, everyone goes and buys tickets to go to this pub or this club where we go have a drink and everyone's making noise, and the fight's shit. And you paid how much money to go there, or you've been kind of like building up to this thing like it's something. It don't mean shit to me, man. I'm sorry. God bless the boxing world. I like boxing. I like watching. But when I don't build up to it, I'm watching a good fight. And God bless you all. You're a great sportsman. It's a beautiful sport. Love the entertainment, but it just doesn't float my boat. I'd rather be talking to a good friend.
But that's actually half the fun as well, right? It's the journey. Like everyone loved the Euros and the final, not just because we were getting to the final, but it was like the whole
journey.
That's the whole thing.
Craig,
it creates that.
Craig, I don't give a fuck, mate. I don't like football. I don't like boxing like that. I like football. Like if a football match was on, and it's a good match, I could sit down and watch it. African Nations Cup's on right now. My country, my second country, or my first, I haven't even look at it, is playing and they're good.
Yeah.
I ain't watched the match. It was on when I was at work. It was on the big screen when I was at work. I don't like football. Like it's just not.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's just not in a bad way. It's just I just don't like it.
I know, not you, but I don't. I'm not really one of those people that goes, I want to get married, right?
Yeah.
But some women do have that entire life aiming for that big marriage.
Yeah. And that's the entire.
It's like the Arsenal game. It gives some people purpose in a world where they don't have as much purpose.
Do you know what? Let me rephrase it, because the way I'm saying it is very dismissive.
No. I get what
and
you
very
mean.
Arrogant, very
I don't
rude.
do it with golf.
But it's just like it's not that it's not a good thing. I think it's amazing. I love the skill and everything that's put into it. The training that the footballers do, the passion, the people that it brings together. I love stuff like watching the energy. That's football is also one of the things where you have that, that fantasy factor that I want from films. People get that from a football match.
So I don't watch football at all.
But people get that from even when their team wins. They get
World
it.
Cup,
I know, but I don't even watch those things. It's like I'm so engrossed in my own world that I ain't got time for that. But it doesn't mean that it isn't exciting. It isn't a thing to watch and enjoy. When I sit down for 5 minutes, I stop for 5 minutes. I can enjoy it. But like, I didn't watch the World Cup. I didn't watch what's that other world thing with the
Euros.
No, with the whole world gets involved with them running, jumping.
Olympics.
I didn't watch Olympics.
Yeah, I don't watch Olympics.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm not being like. I swear to God,
it just takes a friend.
Yeah,
you know when you just get you might have one friend. Like someone got me into Marvel.
I know exactly what you mean.
I used to be like Avengers.
I will watch it.
I was the same. I was exactly the same.
And then someone got me into it, and I'm like watching everything that connects to it.
I'll watch it, but I won't get into it. I'm into, like I'm saying, I like movies. I like talking to people. I like talking to people. That's why we're talking. I like there's certain sports I can sit there and watch sometimes.
Someone can change you this year.
It's not about changing. It's
I'm not saying it like that, but you see, like when it comes to, there might be just something. Yeah, you might even you might have a good friend. Yeah, that just takes you to hockey, and hockey just becomes your thing.
No, okay. Let me put you like this. Yeah, let me just put you like this. Sorry to cut you off. Let me put you like this. Yeah. Apart from watching movies and stuff, unless I'm actually involved in it, I've got better ways to spend my time than watch the sports. That's how I. That's
you can't say that if you ain't been.
No, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
You can't say that if you ain't been.
All right, I won't say that.
Do you know what I mean?
No, but I get the point is that I get like I've got a good friend of mine, and they're always going a little bit like, and I try and look at it this way. Like I like you know, I like doing stuff with mates and stuff like that. I have a little game on like Call of Duty or whatever, which with the mates. I get a bit obsessed.
Sorry, I'm a dickhead as well. I've got a PS5. I've had one since it's come out. I don't play it.
I believe that.
It's been in my room. I don't play it. I haven't touched it. It's got dust on it. Sorry,
I never used to like touch mine ever. Like I had one and I never used it.
I don't use it either.
But what you sometimes find, I often go like certain habits. You sometimes, let's say if I go and play too much something like Warzone, right? I'm finding a way to focus on something that's actually making me avoid something else.
Yeah.
So that can become addictive. I sit there and go, right, I could be writing something now. I could be producing my next thing or whatever. But then suddenly you want this
break.
I just want to do this. Or like, let's say with my coaching, I'm doing that all the time, and I'm working on that. I'm speaking to people constantly, helping them with this, that, and the other training programs, telling other coaches how to do things. And suddenly you go, it's hard. Like
you need to escape.
Then you have something that's. Like if I wanted to get my most creative, when I get into something really creative, like where I go for it fully, all that stuff subsides. I go and it goes, and it's like so. It's almost like my brain needs a certain amount to
dampen it down. And
but it's like the games that kids get, right? They're always on their frigging phone.
But that's okay. As a game player on my phone, but I say this: I know that I have. You play a game
on your phone.
Yeah, sometimes. But I do. But you know. But hold on. Hold on. No, I don't care. But hold on. But even that, I did play a game called Clash Royale for a period of time, maybe about 6 months, a year. But now I've changed it over to Duolingo. So what I'm doing, I'm learning something. I'm learning Spanish.
Lines, right?
Yes, I'm learning Spanish because I was so pissed off with myself that I was just like, and do what you want, whether you have to do it. Like I was doing like almost a Candy Crush thing. I was like, come on, Alpha, come on, man, really? Like talking to myself. And now I've changed it. I'm still on the phone, but I'm doing the Duolingo thing.
That's exactly it.
And I'm not trying. I'm not trying to be. Anyone could do whatever they want to do. But I've got like, I think ADD. My friend said attention deficit disorder. That's why I can't sit and watch someone play sports. I just my mind will be. I'm like blah, blah, blah. I just start thinking. That's why I can't do it. That's why I don't like it. So only when I get like Lord of the Rings or something really gets me, I can sit down and watch it all because we're both actors.
But that's what I think.
I can analyse what they're doing as well, and then I'll get engrossed. But if something doesn't engross me, I'm not interested. It's not. I did say it quite negatively, and I will apologise to everyone else again for that because it was very negative. But no, it's the truth because you said it was emotion. It came straight out of emotion. But that's what it is,
isn't it? It's like if someone said to me, "Oh, you've really got to be into sewing." Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm never going to be.
You're a man. You don't like you don't like football. What's the matter with you?
It's like suddenly if there's something that's interesting. I don't watch football any other time. Sometimes I'll look at results. Like I used to support Villa. I'll see how they're doing. I couldn't even tell you one player for Villa or anything like that. But I might start looking up football if something in it interests me. Like suddenly, some sort of rate of illness on the football pitch increases, and I'd like to research that and see if it increases more. You know.
Unless I'm playing a football, I don't want to know. Yeah. But let's or talking to a footballer, 'cause I know quite a good few footballers, and I don't mind the game. I love you guys. One more time, love you guys. Yeah.
Let me ask Craig a question. Why don't you want to get married?
No, I don't. It's not. I don't want to or anything like that. It's never been. No, it's just never. It's actually
guns are out, mate. That's what I was talking about.
It's more like the select people that I sort of work with and stuff like this, and friends and stuff. You sort of see. I get angry with some people. Like, it's not to do with them. It's more to do with me, I guess. And it's a reflection of where I see that I don't do things. Mm-hmm. So, what I'll try and explain, like, all of it comes in together. So for instance, I've got a friend I do moan at him for this. He wants to do, like, more of the acting, make things and stuff like this, and he's good at it. But he'll just do things that I go, I've asked you to write something to help our next project. Has it been done yet? No. Why? I was like, I've got to be quite forthright. I bought a suit. What? You bought a suit? How much was it? 500 quid. Like, why are you buying a suit? You don't do anything with a suit. What's the point? Yeah. Like, literally, I was like, why? When you go Primark, you can buy like 10 of those and like have one for each day and have a bit of fun. And like I get why he's
you got buy more than 10 in Primark with £500, mate. I tell you what, my guy.
50. I sort of get it, because you bought this really nice thing. It gives you that satisfaction, like, oh, I'm going to go get a bike. Oh, I'm going to go and get a really nice car. But I say, are those things like making you miss the thing that you go, oh, I need inspiration to do this? I'm like, no, don't have inspiration. Just do it. Yeah. And coming to the marriage, I think when it happens, it happens, you know. Yeah. But I see a lot of, might be a bit controversial, some people really focus on the marriage.
Females, and I understood what you meant by that, yeah.
It's like,
they're growing up like that, isn't it? So
there's occasional guys as well.
Hold on. If we're talking about it, we're also focusing on it. Just be honest, okay? I'm just saying that.
So what you get?
Not only females, don't be like that.
But they focus on it from early. That's what I'm saying. Like, they focus on it from the princess dress, bro. I think it's more about the dress than the marriage, to be honest. And the day. Yeah,
I think it's your big day to be watched, and you're in a movie star. So that's the closest thing you're going to have, isn't it, for people doing this?
Well, let's if we're going to talk about it, let's really talk about it, because we have to talk about what it meant going back, and what it means. It means a woman's not going to be provided for. She's not going to be barren. If she's 40 back in the day and she weren't married, people in the village be like, Ross, what's wrong with you? It signified that back in the day. So it signifies a rite of passage as far as certain things. So let's just add that in there as well. Like, if you look back in the day, you'd be in trouble if you wasn't married.
But if you look at it on a royalty point of view, they would mix and stuff to create more power. That's what basically what it was, like different kingdoms and stuff like that. But I think these days and I sort of get it, but when I try and help people try and find more motivation not to jam sort of like Pop-Tarts and what's-its down their throat, it's often they'll really want to be in shape and stuff for the marriage and really push hard and everything else. And imagine you've got this big day that you've always wanted to do, and let's say it's costing a fortune as well. Mom, dad, whoever else is paying for it. Like some of the ones I've seen, like I'm like, geez, that's expensive. Do you know what I mean? I thought like a Vegas one dressed up as Elvis would be quite fun, but I
got married in Vegas.
Oh, did you see what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't fun though.
Was it not?
Not the whole experience wasn't fun. God, I wouldn't do it again.
I've got to try it. I haven't experienced it
yet. Let me know how that turns out.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone can get to the States at the minute. It's all over the place. But
I'd like to get you into the States if you want.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yanni's over there now.
Is he?
Yeah, we'll go into that in a bit. Like,
go. Sorry.
But I found a lot of people. I'll just say people, because like some guys actually get married and they love it. Like they're like, oh, I'll sort everything, big whatever. Is that they have the big day and then suddenly, what else have I got? Like, it's a bit like the Fight Club thing. When Fight Club, where Edward Norton and Brad Pitt are talking, and they're talking about their dad, and it goes, Dad, what should I do? Go to college. I've gone to college. What should I do? Get a job. Dad, what should I do? I don't know. Get married. Do you know what I mean? And then, like, to a point, they're like, I don't know what to do anymore. Alcohol takes over. All I can do is make more money, maybe, or drink more, get angry with people. I don't know. But I know what you're saying. Back to what your point is that if a habit or something you enjoy is taking over your life more than you doing what your passion in your heart.
They're actually living your life.
Yeah.
Because that, if you're going back to that, Because for me, is the beauty of life, or the essence and the living of life, is with the interactions of other people. If anyone who knows me out there, is me laughing or joking with you, or talking to you passionately about something, or losing it about something, or if you really know me, sharing food with you or anything like that. This is hence why we've got this live talks. That's my passion. If I can learn from you, I'm happy. Or if I can help you, how you try to help people, I'm happy. If I can make you laugh, I'm happy. And that's me. That's my driving force. That's my everything. Do you know what I mean? And it's helped me a lot in my life. I'm a happy motherfucker. I don't know.
But that's the thing.
And that's it. That's what I think life. That's what life should be like.
Have you ever heard like Byron Katie? She's very, very, very interesting. No. Like Byron Katie, she it's funny because I was just looking over some of the stuff yesterday, and she'll often have people that she speaks to who, let's say they've got a problem with their mum or something like that. Go, I'm always trying to make my mum happier, so I'll buy her everything. Thanks. I'll buy her a holiday and stuff like this, and she'll go, I don't want to go. Yeah. And he's like going, but why didn't she want to go? I want to make her happy. And Byron Katie's like, you know what? Her saying she doesn't want to go is her making herself happy. You don't want her happy. You want to try and make her something that she's not. Her going, I don't want to do that, is her way of making herself happy, even though she might not seem happy in what you would call the generic tense. But me going, no, you have to come to this restaurant with me, because it's really like, I don't want to go to that restaurant. I've already paid for it. You will. I hate you now. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're not. That's what like a lot of people try and force people to do things. To actually, it's actually for them than themselves. You know. Yeah,
it's a lot, Craig, man. It's a lot of people are living that life. When you become a parent, you'll be, obviously, if you can be that objective, so you have to be good for your kids. You know what I mean? I know you're a good dad. You're that objective. You'll actually have a conversation where there's nothing wrong with the old way of parenting, where it's like, oh, you're doing this, because sometimes, especially now as well, kids don't know what they want to do, and when they're seeing certain things, they actually do enjoy it. But there's also that thing to be said for actually listening to say, like, I don't like it, and okay, you don't have to like it because I think it's good or whatever. I don't have to take offence with that or whatever. Just let you go and be the person you are. I'll be like, all right, you're jumping in the front seat and putting the seatbelt on. All right, sit there, innit? We'll find a way to kind of talk and negotiate rather than thinking. And this is just like...
Because, you know, it's like the father that goes, you will go and play football. You will become the good footballer. And the kid's like, has the big problem when he's older, hates his dad and has a drink problem. You know, because it's interesting with the Byron Katie thing. There was a really interesting one where there was a guy who was a professor. So very smart, right? Very intellectually smart. Don't know how emotionally. And his daughter was an addict, you know, an addict.
He was an addict?
No, she was. His daughter was an addict. So they were talking to it. It's quite fascinating. It's a different thing. It's just, I don't know why. I only looked at it yesterday. It's been up 4 years ago. I looked at it. And they ask each other questions, and it goes back and forward. And what's interesting is one of his to her, is you've got so much potential, right? You've got so much potential. You know, she could be the next female president of the United States and all this stuff. And you basically say that to her, and they have to accept it. But when they call it meditated on it and spoke about it. And
this is an exercise.
Yeah, like together. It's called The Work. And it's really fascinating because basically then she has to go how it makes her feel. And she goes, but you saying I've got so much potential basically means what I am now is not enough.
Wow.
Do you see what I mean? I can't be.
Wow.
You don't see me. You see me as a president of the United States. And eventually the big thing is, he turned around and said, you're beautiful, right? You're beautiful. But the thing is, if you can say to someone they're beautiful, you also have to accept beauty back. And so you turn the sentence around. And so can you turn that sentence around? Is it true? Is it this, right? It's a lot of different work. And eventually he had to go, I'm beautiful. And he couldn't say it. He couldn't call himself beautiful because he was so critical of everything. And eventually when he did, accepted there was some beauty in him somewhere, he had a big breakdown. And then starts laughing. Do you know what I mean? And it's fascinating. It's like those little truths.
Yeah, wow. The laughing is what I've heard everything. The laughing, because someone told me the other day, sometimes laughing isn't laughing. It's like the nervousness and stuff, and it's mad. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's quite, but you can do like the work, and it's like you write down questions about someone that annoys you, or you don't. My boss is always trying to control me, right? And then let's say she goes, is that 100% true 100% of the time? No. Can you turn that around? I'm trying to control me, yes. I'm trying to control my boss, yeah. If you don't want someone to control you, you're trying to control them as well. So you're both controlling. So it's interesting, right?
This is yeah. It's not only interesting. It's very educational as well. It's like, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Basically, be honest with yourself.
Envy, jealousy comes all from that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That person's got what I want or I should have. They don't deserve it. It's like, that's not going to help you. It's like,
I love it.
But that's why Instagram, Facebook, and everything.
I thought you were going to say turn that one around. Is it me hating?
But imagine like let's say you've got I'm not like really into cars, right? But imagine you had a really nice car, and I'm like, I should have that car. You know what I mean? That's not why is that going to help me at all?
Okay, so let me.
I would like to have a car like that.
I feel that's a trait though. It's one of them traits.
But you know, like you do, like I believe that also. Within people, no matter what it is, we're only human, right?
Haters.
We're only human, right? So even if it's like, because how can I say, some people, where can I take this now? You know, some people can act upon the thought. So some people say, that person really pissed me off, I want to punch him in the mouth. But they don't, they just let it go. Another person will say, that person really pissed me off, they punch me in the mouth. They won't punch me in the mouth, they won't let it go, they'll take their drink away. Another person will say, next person, like, someone will punch them in the mouth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's some person like, why have we got that car? I want that car. Because we're only human beings, I'm saying. People have different thoughts. Yeah. The thought
or the other person goes like this, just sits on it, and then doesn't say anything, and then it builds up for years and ends up doing something crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like the person, at least the person that goes, I want to punch them in the mouth, at least you can still get carried away with it. Right? Yeah.
But what it should be is that person's got a nice car. I want that car. Yeah. What do I have to do to get that car? Yeah. And pull your fucking finger out your ass and get the car. If that's
that
what you want.
Inspires you, right?
It should be inspirational rather than make you...
like watching an actor that you like.
Yeah.
Like some people hate though. Like haters hate.
No, but you know what? People also hate. Like but this is one thing that I don't think is ever discussed. There's rich people that hate on people that haven't got none of that.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's just never discussed.
It's people. People hate it.
I'm giving you an example. I'm just giving you an example. Because we always use, like, say someone's got a nice car. Yeah. And I've come across so much people that are, like, wealthy, that depending on how much presence someone's got in the room, they're more jealous of the person that's got the presence. You know what I'm saying? That physical, when they step in the room, they could turn heads, or they can have a conversation, and their conversation is so good and interesting that grips people more than. And then they, like I say to you, I've watched that side as well. So I feel like envy and jealousy.
Actors battle with that. They all want to be centre of the room. They can't let anyone else chat. So you're like this going.
Do you see what I'm
saying?
Well,
I personally don't have that problem. See, everyone quiet. Look at me.
But that's what happens, but I think also, but the big problem is when it happens where you can have big personalities and have a laugh and a joke. It's when people, I've met people where I'll be talking about things and stuff like that, and they'll turn around, you talk too much. It's like, but what am I talking about?
It's the wrong kind of energy.
That's the hater I was talking about.
It's
the hater because he couldn't match the convo.
Yeah.
So that's the wrong kind of energy. See, I don't mind if that energy comes with like it comes like, so what are you talking about, Craig? And I'm giving an opportunity to break it down for you, and then you can, if you want to challenge me, no, because the same person, same hater shit. They want to cut you down, but they think you don't know what you're talking about. Like, what are you talking about, Craig? But then you can give it back to them rather than just what you just said.
But you also got to be very careful being triggered. So for instance, say if I read something like that.
One more, say that again, please.
Triggered, right?
No, you've got to be very careful of being triggered.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's the one. That's the money right there. You know?
So there's many things that in this present time, if you say something, people will naturally go off their emotion instead of their intellect, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes they'll attack you in a certain way where if you start shaking by the way that they're debating you, you know there's like often a little bit more of a passive-aggressive sort of attack. So, for instance, I would be speaking to someone, and I've been reading about a lot of stuff. I won't be able to tell you it's 0.12 on the data, but I can tell you I read this data, this is quite interesting. Yeah. No, it's not. It's like, yeah, I read it. Now, what are you, Mr. Scientist? Yeah. It's like, dude, can we have a chat? Like,
that's what I was going to say. Oh, the next thing is you think you know everything.
Yeah, and it's like,
so all right. Well, I thought you can tell me different if you know different. Tell me different.
And often their arguments will usually be. You could literally write out what the argument would be, and you could go, which one they're going to use. Yeah. Oh yeah, use that one. You know what I mean? Like. Certain people, if you've got a strong opinion, they'll try and shut you down by going, "You're aggressive."
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I get that all the time.
Yeah. I get high energy, people want to push you down.
All the time. Can we talk about stuff that you do know about, stuff we talked about before? Health and fitness.
Oh, veganism.
Veganism, no, health and fitness. Because you're talking stats and everything. So you are qualified in what, sir?
So basically, I coach. I can give like nutrition advice, strength and conditioning. So basically, like
when you say you coach, you can give nutrition advice. You studied.
So
you know your stuff.
It depends what you mean by studying, right? Like I read a lot and I speak to people that are sort of scientists, and I've done courses that like I did a little course in critical studies in nutrition science, which helped me break down papers to understand what the real data is and all that. Okay. I'm not the best or any of that because I'm not a scientist, but I can look at a paper and go, right, how strong is this? What's it missing out? Just the basics, which I think everyone does. And from there, you can quantify a lot of inference, or is it crap? Is it good? And then through information and anecdotal evidence and everything else, you can start to see through your own journey how the body works. Anecdotal. So anecdotal.
Anecdotal. No, I understand that. I never heard you properly. Okay.
It's one of my accents. I don't know which one I'm going with.
So like, when you came in the studio today, right? I offered you a chewy sweet, right? Chewy sweet, and he said, "Nah, I don't want it because I don't know what's in the sweet." And you talk about the additives. Yeah. He says what's on it. So
palm oil.
Yeah. So. And then we digressed into the discussion about oils and what they do to your body. And
do you want a little history on them?
Yes.
I'll give you a little history.
Yes.
This is just off the top of my head, so we could research this and become more clear. So originally,
I'm more educated.
Yeah, no, but you can actually, I'll point you in the direction of what books to read and stuff to get even better information on people that specialise in these areas. So originally, we all know margarine or stuff like that. Originally,
who's margarine?
Margarine, like the spread. Yeah, and so like. So originally there was butter. This is like a breakdown. Someone could watch this and go, well, you've missed this, Craig, but I'm just giving you a breakdown. Then I can point you in something.
I thought margarine was a person for first.
Yeah, margarine.
I always thought a person. That's why I laugh so hard.
Is my grandmother, Margarine. And so basically there was a company called Crisco. And do you know what Crisco makes?
I know Crisco. I heard of that.
What do they make?
Isn't it that spray oil or frying oil?
Yeah, they make oil for people to eat, right?
Yeah, Crisco. I know, I've heard of Crisco.
Do you know what they originally did?
No.
So the oils that you eat today that are like seed oils and stuff, do you know what they originally were for?
Engine oil, cars.
Yeah, they were factory oils, lubricants and stuff like this. And then one day they went like this. They went, you know what, I reckon we could sell this to humans as a counter. There was no bad evidence about butter at this point or what they made up. We could start selling it as an alternative to butter because there is nothing else as an alternative to butter. You got to sometimes think, why is the cow religious in certain companies?
Certain countries, yeah.
Countries is because it actually gives you a lot of nutrients. You get butter, milks, and also Gandhi in his book also said at one point there was one lad that used to eat meat and he was more muscular and strong than everyone else that was like a vegetarian. But swinging back.
You can't just go.
I'm going to go back. I'll go back.
But let's just take the point. So. That is one of the reasons that the cow is possibly one of the reasons the cow is more respected in certain religions and around the world for all the nutrients and stuff it can give.
Yeah.
Life-giving stuff, basically. Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and you can still eat them if you need to, and they'll last you about a year.
So do you...
before we lose.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
He's not going to lose anything, this one.
So basically, if you want to read a book, it's called The Big Fat Surprise, if I remember rightly. And I can't remember the lady that wrote it, but there's loads of stuff on YouTube and all that sort of thing. You can watch her talking about it. So Crisco was originally the company that made loads of machine oil, and they basically went, we can make an alternative to butter, blah, blah, blah. They went and did that. They weren't allowed to make it the same colour as butter. They couldn't market it as butter. It had to be an alternative. And so basically over a certain amount of time, they suddenly went like this, I tell you what, we'll put a dye next to it and we'll start doing marketing. And they could put the dye in the margarine stuff and it won't look like butter. And so they started making, i.e., let's make milk products that aren't really milk but call it milk. Same ideology. We're going to pull in. It's very similar to this and this. Cut another story that helps build this. There's a guy called Ansel Keys. He did, I can't remember how many countries it was that he did it, but he basically went and said saturated fat was bad. He's the one that came...
What's the difference between butter and margarine? Sorry.
it's normally the ratio of sort of like your omega-6, your omega-3, saturated fat, stuff like your CLA, and also
butter's better for you, basically.
100%.
Okay.
Unless, so this is the problem, and they won't teach you this. We're going to branch off into another thing called the Randall cycle. So the Randall cycle is probably one of the underlying causes of all, like obesity, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, maybe potentially cancers, whatever else, anything that's pro-inflammatory. So whenever you eat a high amount of carbohydrates and fats from these two, like this, they compete, and it's called the Randall cycle. That's where you start getting stuff like insulin resistance, inflammation. So there's nowhere in nature that has the ratio high fats, high carbs like a cheesecake or a pack of Wotsits. Just look at a pack of Wotsits, right, and compare it to a steak at the same grammage or the same calories, and you'll see why these are so bad in comparison to these. One, not because of the energy that's in there, it's the type of energy that's in there.
In combination.
Yeah, and also the protein content's extremely low. So it's high fat, high carb, normally made with seed oils and maybe some sort of grain. And so a lot of people are quite, a lot of grains are quite inflammatory for a lot of people as well. Not everyone's going to fit.
Depends on your system.
Yeah, and also, you've got stuff like your anti-nutrients in there. So I often say to people, look at high, so you don't want high energy dense, low nutrition dense food. So nutrient dense food. So you want food that's got high nutrient dense food that's bioavailable.
Like, what's a good meal?
A good meal, I would literally say, because of my slight bias, I'd go, if you can get good grass-fed, 100% ribeye steak, you ate that without chips and stuff like that, then, and over time you'd probably start seeing stuff like if you had aches and pains in your body, that'd probably slowly disappear a little bit. Inflammatory. Go on.
No, because I'll start talking about my diet all the way through right now. She was saying to me, just have the steak without the mashed potato, without the chips, to have them separately.
Don't have them.
Don't have
the carbs, right?
Why?
Why? Because you don't need them. So do you know what an essential amino acid is?
Yeah.
So that's amino acid you need to eat because your body can't make it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you want to get that from the most bioavailable, complete source you possibly can, and meat beats everything hands down, right?
And why is ribeye steak the best one?
It's not really the best. It's my favourite. It's just got, actually, you want to get a little bit of fat in because that's where you're going to get your energy from, and like the hormones and stuff like that. Like, we can still have the debate about factory farming. Like, that's like a different kettle of fish.
Yeah. So wait, let's hold on. Cause
I was going to make my good point. You'll like this point.
Okay, but I won't interrupt you again for 10 minutes. So the steak, but then with my vegetables, we're good.
All right, so that's good. That's what I get people to do, to be fair. So this is a little bit of the kicker, right? So you get essential amino acids, right? So your amino acids, your proteins that you need to eat, you can't make. So you need to eat them or you'll become deficient, like a vegan does over about 5 years, if they're not subsidizing with other things. Yeah. Fats, there's a thing called essential fatty acids as well, right? Yeah. Your body can't make. So you need to eat them to get them. Yeah, then it makes other processes that sort of work. I'll ask you a question. Is there any such thing as essential carbohydrate?
I would think there was.
No.
Yeah.
There isn't.
I know that.
Did you?
So what? Like rice, pasta.
So what you got to do?
Because it contains energy carbs, doesn't it?
So fat's energy, and they're
all
energy.
You don't need it. You just get the fats from the energy. You're done.
So do you know why it's glucose and carbohydrates aren't essential? From what I said, with essential amino acids and essential fatty acids. And here's another one for you. Your brain needs about 120 grams of glucose a day to survive.
Well, you've got it in your body already.
And every cell, you pretty much work it out. It's like every cell needs glucose, right? Yeah. Every cell. So everyone's got carb loading. Great. Your career's probably going to be over by 32. Why do you think people are like, there are athletes getting stuff like inflammatory diseases and viruses and not having very good outcomes, and they're supposed to be super fit. Like, someone's been on a load of anabolic steroids, they're going to be in a pro-inflammatory sort of environment, they're going to have worse outcomes most of the time.
Wait a minute, hold on. So you're saying, I want to talk to you.
I'll go into it. So basically, essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, you need to eat them to get them. Carbohydrates aren't essential. The reason being, your body will make them through a process called gluconeogenesis. So you have your ketones, right? And also your body will make glucose through a demand process. So when it needs it, it'll make it. So that's why some people, if you ever heard of ketosis, they go, don't eat too much protein because you'll produce glucose. You see? So the problem is, if you go to every athlete on the planet, go, what's been your diet since you started training? They'll all say pretty much the same thing. There is no long-term trials where you've got someone on this diet against this one from the duration of their livelihood. So all the research is in, this is the diet. Now we're just going to find ways to make this diet better. Instead of going, maybe you're walking down the wrong path. Maybe. You know? That might help to get more calories in and stuff like that. But it's also the, you know, you don't need as many carbs as people say. Like type 2 diabetes is glucose toxicity. Glucose is toxic unless it's pulled into the cell, right? And so if that's too high all the time, then that's what happens: metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, underlying health conditions. Then potentially other things that you have that you could have problems with. You could start getting like autoimmune problems, like a lot of seeds, certain vegetables, nuts have high levels of oxalates and like lectins and phytoestrogens and all this sort of thing. All these things, why they're called anti-nutrients, is because they bind onto your nutrients and basically stop you from absorbing them. So something like spinach, if you eat spinach raw, right, it contains calcium and magnesium, I think, remember, right? Guess what oxalates bind to? Calcium and magnesium. So potentially eat lots and lots of spinach. You could potentially then have stuff like oxalate dumping and binding. You could get sort of potentially kidney stones. Soy is very good for doing that to some people. You know, not everybody will do it to, but it can.
So too much raw spinach can end up in problems.
Well, it could. Not saying it's going to, but potentially, but it's like one of the...
So it's good to know. Well, you have to really tailor it towards your own
something
body,
like
basically.
Almond flour, right?
Almond flour.
Yeah, so the problem with almond flour...
Almond flour.
Almond, yeah.
Almond,
where's the
There you go. Sorry.
So basically, like, what you remember about that is that it's a condensed version of them, right? So you actually have a big higher amount of oxalates in there. So a lot of people that go onto ketosis and ketones and they start to eat their almond and hazelnut cookies, but it's keto, they can still get problems down the road because of that sort of stuff. Yeah. Do you see what I mean? Like for me...
I made cake last night.
So would you say, what, meat is just the best thing to eat?
Well, from my controversial point of view, like if you could, right, fibre.
No, hold on. Before you go ahead and you can make whatever statement you want to make, but what we have to say is that what the best thing to eat depends on the person.
I want to hear his opinion on what's the best thing.
Yeah, no, but it no matter what it is still, like the best thing to eat for him will be different because spinach will be good for you and not good for him. That's all I want to add.
That's not true.
You just said it was true.
No.
How can you, why not?
No, you can't go like how your body processes a certain nutrient. Yeah, that could be down to the damage that you've had before, right? Like I could be able to handle dairy, but if you're more insulin resistant, you might not be able to utilize dairy as well. So it could actually increase more fat gain.
As a result of damage you possibly could have done, you're saying?
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that I could probably have spinach and be okay at a high amount, while someone else could go and, okay, let's say soya milk, I could have soya milk and I get a bit itchy, I feel a bit red. My old flatmate had soya milk, and soya milk got kidney stones, went into hospital. Do you know what I mean? Someone else could have soya milk.
But that's what I'm saying though.
Yeah, but there's still...
Because what did you ask voice behind the camera? What is it?
Is meat the best thing to eat?
So meat the best thing to eat, but therefore it wouldn't. But it varies from person to person.
Because now you're looking
at necessarily when you think about.
And that's all I was asking.
On a human perspective.
Yeah, when you're looking at the nutrient value, ideally, that there would be the most energy efficient, bang for your buck thing you could possibly eat. But if you've got like poor digestion issues and stuff like that, because you've lived a life that's so unhealthy, you might have problems and stuff like that, you know. And then people like having greens, like you said, but I'd say cook your greens. That's what I'd say. Just cook them just to be safe, and there you'll be all right. Like you don't need to. Like certain greens as well have lower levels, like your lettuce and your cucumber. But like stuff like your broccoli, don't eat it raw. Cook it. Like your asparagus, cook it. Your spinach, it turns into a little ball, doesn't it? Like cook it, and then you'll get better digestive properties. Yeah.
Do you know about Liver King by any chance?
What's that one?
There's a guy and that I follow on Instagram, and he's following a lot of the ancestral ways of.
Oh yeah. Is he selling supplements?
No, he's just eating raw meat.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a trend.
He's eating raw, but he's massive.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's scared out of his face though. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right.
It's just my opinion.
He does bodybuilding as well. He's scared out of his face, you know.
But do you know what I mean? Like,
what's his name?
Liver King.
Yeah, like I get set because the way. But what you got to remember is it's sort of like it's you've most of the time, if you look at a lot, everyone goes, "Oh, you need to be plant-based." Plant-based. We've all been eating plant-based. That's why there's so much problems. Is that your cereal's plant-based, your bread's plant-based. Do you know what I mean? It's all plant-based. It's like, and so everyone goes plant-based. But I said, whenever try, like for instance, I could bring up like fiber, right? There's actually a study where everyone goes, fiber's healthy, right? Fiber's healthy. But remember, you've got to take the study for what it is. And so something like epidemiology is sort of like almost like questionnaires, like what are you eating, how are you doing, and then follow up and all this sort of thing. It doesn't. It gives you an idea, but epidemiology will never show you causation. It won't be close. The only way you get real causation is if you got identical twins locked in a metabolic lab for their entire life and you had one variant. So that's how hard it really is. So from there, it's like the person that I got taught this by, he said, the water's always murky, but how murky is the water? And so people can play with the stats and play with the numbers to really convince. So a lot of people use the vegan debate about the Seventh-day Adventist study, saying meat is bad, but the Seventh-day Adventist study only gets its outcome through adjustment. So the actual original data does not say the people that had the least amount of meat had the highest rates of mortality. They died more than the people that had meat in their diet. It's when they adjusted everything. So basically me going like, all right, let's take some data here. Okay, I've taken this, but I'm going to adjust it now because you smoke. How do you adjust that? Like, what do you adjust that to? I'm going to take 10 years off his life because of smoke. How do you know? There's people that got 95. I've done a really complex calculation because I actually just want to get the numbers that I want. Right, yeah, cool, look, I got the answer I wanted, everyone. Do you see what I mean? They've gone for it and you don't know what the adjustments are. So you actually have to look at the raw data and go, no, that's interesting. The raw data says that what you just said doesn't work. Like the old cholesterol myth.
You don't eat no carbs.
I know you still have carbs. Like if you want to have a cheat meal and stuff, but doing it to yourself every single day, that's the biggest problem.
Because you got to think about it. I even stopped to think about, why is it always chips, rice, and mash? Like when you think about the options of sides or whatever you want to have with whatever you want to have, like there's so much other things that you can have. Like
you can go extreme. Yeah, it's cheap as well.
It's cheap, but even in expensive places, they just bring it in the silver bowl.
$5.99 for some sweet potato fries, right?
You know what I mean? With some spring onions on top.
That's it. It's like, but that's the thing. It's like if I wanted to make a load of money, right? I'd sell like grain bars. Like you can make loads of profit. I'd make like a Seaton steak that's made out of gluten and sell it for $7.99. Great, and that's where the money is. Like if you want to make some proper money, like because you're using very cheap ingredients that can be mass grown that still causes a lot of problems with animals being killed, bugs being killed, all this sort of stuff. I don't know what people think that the tractors go out there to pick it all. They've got petrol, so they still do cause a problem. But, do you know what I mean?
Wait.
Yeah, the rabbits get killed.
What you're saying? You're so stupid. You're funny.
I
believe you, man. You're saying rabbits get killed. So you're saying
while the vegan food is getting collected, animals are getting killed in the process. Plus, you're taking their food. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Like I have some avocado. I don't mind. I'll still you can go extreme. Like some people will just eat this. Some people go, I'm gonna have a carb meal every. Most people can't handle carbs anyway, and they get fat, right? So they should have it around probably maybe every 19, 20 meals or something if you're eating 4 or 5 times a day.
Wait.
But you don't need to eat that much though. Most people, if they ate nutrient-dense foods properly, they probably only need to eat twice a day if they're not looking to get bigger. They just want to be healthy. They don't need to have it 5 times. Why would that be useful?
I love chips, man.
I thought you'd lost some weight though. You look like
I've been taking care of myself, but I've cut up. I've changed my diet a bit. I've purged myself. I don't eat as many meals as I did before during the day. Got a lot more water and liquid going in my body.
Another one about liquid, right? Like something like in your fats, like in your steak and stuff, contains actually I think it's called metabolic water. So if you have a lot of fats and your proteins and stuff together, you actually stay more hydrated if you're a more high carbohydrate and all that. That's why you'll see a lot of vegan stuff having to bang through water, because carbs will grab hold of water and can potentially dehydrate you in a certain way. Like everyone thinks, oh my God, I need to get glucose in to be hydrated. Actually, it's more your mineral balance that creates hydration. So actually what you'll find is you often don't have to drink quite as much water than you think if you're getting it in different ways, in like fats, not fruit oils, but fats. Fruit's like a lateral step. It doesn't do anything. It's like, what's the point? For taste, they taste, but what they do, like
sugar.
Yeah, what do you need sugar for? It's glucose. Yeah. All carbohydrates break down to glucose.
Yeah, I like sugar though.
What's crazy, you know, like sugar in the sugar cane is good for you.
I like sugar.
Out of the sugar cane is bad for you.
Yeah, but then it's in its natural form.
Yeah.
That makes sense, innit?
Who said that?
That's what I heard. Like, inside the sugar cane, like, it's better for you.
Who
like,
said that? Who didn't say it?
Yeah, when you get it from the sugar cane, it's like you can get some nutrients from it.
So it's a bit like when people go, honey is a good form of carbohydrate compared to like something else, and you're sort of like, actually, I saw scientists break down the study and went, no, you're cherry picking that this is good. The outcomes did not.
The same thing you're saying.
Yeah, it's pretty much. You might get like some sort of other like nutrient in there, like a B vitamin or something. But at the end of the day, all carbohydrates will pretty much break down into glucose. So like your pasta, your bread, everything else, whatever else is added to it. So
honey's got so much levels to it as well. When I was shopping for my nan to get some honey, like when I realised this thing called Manuka honey, and there's these
20 quid.
He knows. You start seeing the different levels of honey. I'm like, what the? 20 quid for honey. It is something that's like 40 quid. Depending on the number of Manuka, I don't know what it is. It has some like number next to it.
Some £100 one.
Yeah. So it's like me going like Wagyu steak, right? That's the expensive steak, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just the same. That's all they're doing. They're just going, okay, this is more. And you're like,
but you know, like if I have a dry age like marble bloody ribeye from certain places, grass fed and that, it tastes different to the ones that ain't grass fed. I can't, like, not being thing, it goes with everything. I haven't done it with, I don't know so much about farm fish, farm food. I don't
have too much fish. I don't have.
Okay, no, I like a lot of fish. I like everything. But
my girlfriend does. She loves fish. I'm not a big fish eater.
But if you buy what they say is premium quality stuff, whatever they're doing, if they're putting it tastes different to the other stuff. Definitely tastes different.
It's like chicken, right?
It tastes a bit better. Chicken is terrible, man. The organic chicken and the not organic chicken, the taste. You can Sainsbury's it. You can taste the difference, mate.
Here's a funny one. Like you know when you see the chicken, then they go corn fed. That's quite interesting, isn't it? How it changes colour and everything like this. It's like more yellow. But if you actually go, what? This is another problem. This is another debate from the argument, is that what are the animals supposed to be eating so we get the best nutrients? I call it species specific. Yeah. So what would a chicken originally be eating?
Yeah, but then I don't know the answer to that, but I do know chickens eat almost whatever you throw out for them to eat.
Yeah, but what would they be eating quite a lot of if they're just free roaming as well? A lot more of.
Worms.
Yeah, like bugs, worms, ants. They'll be eating a lot of that sort of stuff. And so that's the big problem. So stuff like your chickens, your pork, what else is there?
Don't eat pork.
Yeah, so it's the big problem with those is whatever you feed them, if you're feeding them high levels, it's not going to be as bad as if you were drinking and having rapeseed oil and all this sort of thing. But if they I can't remember what the mechanism is, how it is, but they store a lot of the fat that they eat directly into their fat. So it's more, you're going to get more of closer to the seed oils that they're having in their fat. So when you eat it, you're going to get more of that, right? Like cows and stuff like that don't. They somehow, through the mechanistic way that they work,
they've got a couple of stomachs, don't they?
Yeah, they've got
a couple of stomachs.
So you see,
when it goes through them, innit?
Yeah. So how does a cow maintain its weight? By just eating grass.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. Tell me, innit?
Listen, if anyone knows. So how many stomachs they got? 5 or something like that?
They got. I know about the stomachs. I know about the stomachs. The stomach, because they chew it and it goes for another stuff. For that stuff to get digested, what it has to go through their stomach it's not easily digested.
So why does it do that though?
Did it only eat grass?
Tell me.
Pretty much.
Yeah, they only got Tell me, innit?
So it actually ferments.
You're here for a reason, you know.
It ferments.
Okay.
So basically, increases the energy yield by fermenting, then it breaks it down and absorbs it. So it's like a bacteria factory in each stomach. And that's one reason that's how they get their energy, by actually, they're probably more sort of carnivore than what you realise, really, because they're growing that. And so, yeah, that was an interesting one I learned.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I know. Now ask me again.
What do elephants eat?
No, wait, ask me again.
I've never met an elephant, but they've got the funny thing is,
you better ask me that again.
I think they eat high leaves, right, and stuff like that. That's why they've got the long, and the giraffes as well, stuff like that.
What do they eat? So they're vegans as well, basically.
Yeah, I think the problem is they have a different system to break, like the silverback gorilla. System. I think that has what is it that it's a part of the intestine which is way longer, so they can ferment the nutrients, and they also have something that we don't have now to break down fibre more efficiently.
They do.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. Is it the appendix or whatever, or something like that?
All right.
Next.
Movies.
Yep.
Acting. How'd you get into acting? Well, you're an actor. You've got all this. You've got all this information about this health stuff and everything. I know you're avid on it. We've spoken about this a lot. You're a wealth of knowledge, because we talk a lot about like Marlon Brando, this one, that one, that one. You break things down. How'd you get into acting? Why do you like acting? What would be your favourite role to play?
Which one?
What question? You can answer all three and then some.
So yeah, it's all like one journey, isn't it? And what's I going to say? So
you put. Yeah, I'm sure you got some. No, hit him with some lines. You got some lines and some quotes and this.
What made him start? That's what I want to find out.
I think it was more down to. It's actually. I always quite like, as I said, playing with toys, make believe, and stuff like this. And then I used to, when I was in rugby with my mates, we'd play army and stuff like that. And so we'd run around with guns, make swords, and I'd always be the one. Let's play. Let's do this.
Yeah. The instigator.
Yeah. Then they'd come over to mine. We'd play with toys, but I'd set it all like a big. I'd have a whole room where everyone's like. I'd draw on my figures, like they get punched in the eye and there'd be a bit of blood come out with it.
Easy.
Yeah, like this. I was mad, like watching all this stuff, and I was like all into that. So I did all that, and I was into it. Did like a few school plays, did a bit of school acting, all that sort of thing. Then I went at school. I did drama at school, and it was actually when I was doing drama, I was a bit misbehaved, and so they thought I was quite a naughty kid. So a lot of my teachers come to watch me act, and that's where I think it's Mr. Mosley, his name was, ringing back, and he called me a certain actor. I think it was someone like Brando or something like that. Because you're Brando. I was like, and everyone was like, wow, you're pretty good. And actually, it was the first moment where I learned. You'll still struggle with acting. The stuff that you'll find emotions hard to go to, but it was the first moment I knew that acting. It sounds arrogant, but it's not. It's the process you try to get to. Acting's quite easy, in a certain way. That I remember there was a scene where it was me, my friend, and the policeman was trying to arrest him. And I was really trying to convince the police officer to like stop. I was like, look, he hasn't done nothing. I said, this is just happening. Can you please leave us alone? You know? And he was, whatever he was saying, I was working off him. And please, no, I can't let you do that. You know, and in going into it. But I just went, this is real, you know, at that moment. Mm-hmm. And I remember that. And then that was the moment where I was like, actually, if it's just truthful for me, real, this before intellectualizing it all, allowing to be affected and just playing, things would come for free. You know, and we're talking about then you've got accent and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I did all that, but then what happened was everyone else was like playing football, doing different things, and you know, this was more at a point where it was mostly girls in my class and stuff like this. But I was more like, I want mates. I need to be with my mates. I feel like I'm losing out. So I stopped going to things like to drama and stuff like this, and like literally started going, right, I want to go and work at Jaguar. I want to go into engineering, and I wanted to go all down this path. And then my drama teacher was like, look, you need to like sort it out. You're going to fail. And I tried to leave and like change, and it was too late. So I stuck at it.
Your GCSE?
Yeah. So I tried to leave, and then I kept to it. And then I did all right, to be fair. But I'd lost a little bit. It's more like peer pressure. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be like, you know, David Beckham and footballers and stuff. Like all these things, you know. But cut a long story short, from there, sort of after the school and stuff, sort of a little bit was like, right, I'll go into engineering. So I started to do a diploma in engineering, and I found it quite easy, and I started treating a little bit from all that again. And then I was like, right, I'm going to go into telecommunications. Big problem with that, I I couldn't not turn up and then pass the exams because I couldn't work stuff out. I was like, there'd be an exam and there'd be stuff on there, and I go, I can't. I don't even know what that means. I can't do it. So I dropped out, went into like the training and stuff. But in my heart, I was like, I want to do the acting, but I got scared to say to anyone. I literally got to a point where if I went to someone, I want to act, they'd laugh. Or do you know what I mean? That's actually where you wanted something.
Was it the kind of young masculine?
No, it was more like if someone went to me, no, you're rubbish, you don't look good enough, or this, that and the other. So all these barriers that I'd built up over time, like it made it almost impossible to say it. Like it's weird what your own mind does. So I think what forced me into it was I went to, this is a good bit, I went to join the Royal Marines. So I went to join the Royal Marine Commandos, and so I did the...
How old was you?
21 or something, like 20. And I went and did the history test, the fitness test, everything else. And then I left to go in the Royal Marines. So I started training actually in the Royal Marine Commandos. And I got up to a point where there was a choice where if you went past this point, you had to do, I think, if I remember right, your term of service, or you leave. And I was actually quite good. Well, I had like the best shot of my troop at one point.
If you do say so yourself, but I
know
like, you're good at stuff though.
Yeah, I wasn't like the best, like the fittest or the strongest, but I was ahead of my room.
Overall, okay.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
I didn't know we had that here.
What's that?
I didn't know we had like term of service here.
Yeah, basically, if I remember rightly, it was. You might find out I was wrong, but I'm sure after 6 months you have to do your full term of service, which is 3 years and 1 year's notice. Yeah. And so you can be discharged still, but you have to either be injured or they've got to let you out. If you go and say I'm mental and have a mental breakdown, you literally said to one lad who was saying that, they went, "I advise you not to say that, or you won't be getting out for a while because we can't let you out if you've got a mental disturbance." Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, they can't. They'll go, right, we'll put him in here, leave him there, you know. A bit like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest type thing.
So what would they put him straight into the...
No, he changed his mind.
Or do they keep him in the camp?
So if you went, I think I'm going to kill myself,
yeah, that's
where they'll go, right, you're going into... I don't know what the process is, but the captain went, "I advise you not to say that again." I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Because lots of people go, I hate it. I don't know if I'm going to hurt myself or something. Like, they're just saying it. They don't really mean it. Yeah. He went, because when you're there first, you have to stay 21 days. You can't leave. You signed. It's so, because a lot of people get homesickness. They're like, you've got to stick to it. Yeah. And after 21 days, you can leave, give notice. And past the 6 months mark, you have to stay. So I got close to my 6 months mark and I went, I don't want to, I like pretending to be Rambo. I don't like being Rambo. That's literally in my mind. And then I went, all right, I rang my mum. And this was where I was like, I rang my mum. I went, I don't think I like it. I don't really, like, it taught me a lot of good things. Get up, keep going. That what you said, that drive, right? Cold showers and all that stuff. And then I went, I don't know if I want to be here, but what's quite good about them, they try and keep in contact, the base and all that lot, try and keep in contact with your family in case there is stuff going on so they can look after you. And so my mum rang the base when he wants to leave. I think he's not doing too well or whatever. And suddenly they're all like, right, great, come on, let's have a chat. And the captain was like, what's going on? You heard you want to leave? I was like, I thought, it's now or never. Like, if I didn't say to my mum and she brought it up, I might have never left because I might have been scared to go. It's easier to say I want to quit than actually quitting, right? Mm-hmm. And then he was really nice. The captain was like, do you want to leave? I went, yeah. I said, this is not for me. He goes, you sure? He goes, I think you do great, and like, I'm great that you're going to leave. I was like, yeah, I've made my decision. He goes, okay, as long as it's your choice and you're happy, go for it. Then the corporal, who was really nice, went, dude, what's going on? You're leaving? He goes, give me a hug. And then someone else, one of the other lads, went, I want to leave too. And he was like, you can fuck off if you want. It was so funny. And then it was mad. The only person that was horrible to me, like one person was just horrible. I remember, I think it was 2021. Everyone else was great. I even had like this guy with his dog come and speak to me and sit down with me and everything. I felt quite important.
What do you mean this guy and his dog? Like a sergeant major, someone
within
the army?
Yeah, in Marines. Navy.
Oh, sorry, guys.
And then I remember, I can't remember what it was, a colour sergeant or maybe high, I don't know, one of those. And he come and spoke to me with his dog. He said, oh, okay. As long as you're happy or whatever. Then you have to speak to the big guy on base. So went in.
The admiral.
Yeah, I can't remember what the like. I went in. And he goes, and he started going like this. He goes, you know, if you leave, you're a failure. You won't do anything else with your life, right? You know that.
What's a wanker?
Yeah, he's going, you won't get anywhere. Don't you dare go out there and say that you did well and that you're a failure. Remember that. And you're too old to do anything else. I was like, well, that's your opinion, isn't it?
How old is you?
21. And so, yeah. Like
try and brainwash you on the spot. Like, just let me just wash your brain.
Everyone else was nice. He's just going. I was like, that's your opinion. I said, I know what I'm going to do. And blah blah blah. And I had to
maybe they knew what the fuck he was going to say. So they were just preparing you nicely.
No, he's thinking I'm losing one of my best.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying, everyone was way to go, Craig. They knew how he was going to be in the office. Yeah. So they was being nice because they knew he was going to get in the office. That's what I'm saying.
He did this to me. He kept speaking to him. And I was like looking away. He goes, "You look at me now." And I was like, and he says, "I was like, whatever." And he goes, "You do that again, I'll make sure you don't leave." And I was like,
and you looked. Grabs you by the shoulder.
Yeah, something like that.
It was like, I've got your soul.
But it was the love-hate relationship, wasn't it? And then I was like,
thank God you got out.
Yeah, it was like, it was a bit more like, it was one of those things where when you're speaking to your family about it, my dad was like, if you leave, you don't come back here. So I left.
Your stepdad?
No, my real dad.
Okay.
My stepdad had gone by this point. And then, but I turned up on his doorstep anyway.
Who the stepdad do you dad?
My real dad.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You ain't coming home. All right, Dad.
Come on.
I've got to tell everyone now you've left. But it's good. But what that led to, I went to a wedding, and I met a girl there that I started seeing who was in musical theatre, who was just finishing Arts Ed in London, and it was almost like I was at the door, like I'm really close to potentially being able to do some acting and stuff again, but I'm so scared because I'm with someone who actually does it. Like, that's even harder, right? Mm-hmm. And then basically, she suddenly got into a musical Les Miserables as first cover corset. So I was seeing all these people that were in the acting but not in it. I was like, oh, they're all so talented. Like, they're all so, I was like literally putting them on pedestals. Like, I don't know if I could ever. They're all singing though. Do you know what I mean? Like, all this sort of stuff.
You can sing
a little bit. And then, so that happened. Then basically what happened was all the way through that, I'd gone, right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a PT qualification. I'm good at training. I'm good at that. I need to do a job that I'm good at. I'm going to move to London. I'm going to do that. And then when I've got the money, go into this. That was my plan. And so I was like, gym stuff, it's quite easy for me. I enjoy it. I like it. And I thought it works hand in hand with the acting. If I need to put on weight for a role, lose weight, it's like, it's what I do. It's like, it's the physical side and all that. And so when me and her split up, I was still on that course. And then that's when basically I was looking for somewhere to live. And you remember Jacob, who was the sound guy on the second day? The glasses?
If I saw him again, I'd know him. But I'm terrible, man. If you show me a picture of him, I'd know him.
Yeah. I'll see if I can find one.
But you moved in with Jacob?
Yeah, we moved there. You know him.
Cool.
I think you both were having a chat at one point.
Yeah. I speak to everyone. Everyone's welcome in my world.
A tall guy, about your height as well.
Yeah.
And
black fella, white fella?
White guy. Glasses. Bit camp. And
bit camp.
Yeah.
Thick glasses, thin glasses?
Yeah.
Really thick, like
I'll try and find. But anyway, so I moved in with him and basically stayed there for blooming ages. Cut a long story short, eventually I was training someone who was an agent, and I went...
Nice!
And I went... He said to me, he goes, I'm going to put you for some auditions or something. I was like, actually, I do really want to do the acting. He goes, I'm going to put you in touch with an acting coach. Her name was Sarah. I did a load of acting coach stuff with her. Then eventually I went, right, I need to go and do some more proper training now. And I basically went and auditioned for Mount View. It was only the 1 year, but you had to audition for it.
Yeah, of course you do. Drum school.
Yeah, and I was like, right. And I was doing Romeo.
Romeo, wherefore?
Yeah, which one was it? I was going... I can go into Matt Barefoot. No, not that one.
What's that?
I'm trying to find what monologue I did in my mind.
In Romeo?
Yeah, I did Romeo.
What one?
Was it Death has sucked the honey of thy breath? Yeah.
That is Romeo?
Yeah, that's the one I did. I can't remember it. This was like 10 years ago. Like 7 years ago, whatever it was.
I bet you remember more.
I know more of the ones I worked on after that, because basically I ain't no Romeo. I'm more down the Mark Anthony and this sort of thing.
I ain't no Romeo.
Yeah, I was like, that's. I'll leave that for other people. So basically what he did, and this is where another moment, I was trying to do the speech. I did that, and I did it on the waterfront. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody.
Okay.
But I'm a bum. Let's face it, that one. So I did that, and then he was
like... You know that one then?
I haven't looked at it for years.
I think that suits you better.
Yeah. And so it was that. And then he was like, all right. And he was like, right, I want you to do something. So he actually started working on me on what I was strong at. He was like, right, the girl you love is through that wall. You've got to get to her any way you possibly can while doing your speech. So give me an attention. I was like, bang, hitting this wall, trying to break through this wall, and then I just collapsed on the floor. It's like, great. And then I got it. And so that was cool. And then from there, I did the year. Then I auditioned for some drama schools. Mostly got into arguments with the big drama schools. Like
whoa. When you say you got into arguments with who?
I was a bit arrogant. I didn't like actors. Like, generally speaking, I found that they were a bit fake and generally always trying to play a persona. And I'd always feel a little bit like I don't like the energy, because I'd been with a lot of people, like my mates in Cov and stuff like that. Like, you act, but there's a different truth, right? There's something real. And it always felt like...
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, they would say to me and stuff like this, going, I've got life experience. And I'm like... I'm a bit naive at this point, going, maybe I haven't got any life experience. Like, I was thinking, as I thought about it years later, I went, yeah, I have. I've got loads of life experience if I think about it. It's like a ton of it. And then... So I was in there. So I started auditioning for drama schools. Like, the idea was, I was a bit like, I don't know if I want to go to 3 years. I don't know if I can afford to do 3 years. I don't know. Something was off. I wasn't sure. I was actually a bit more interested with more the American style of training through method, like Stanislavski, Jutta Hagen, Stella Adler, Meisner, all that jazz, right? Lee Strasberg. Method. I was like, that feels closer to who I am as a person, what my upbringing is. I don't know why, you know. Yeah. And so I was going to these auditions.
Me too.
And I went to the Royal Welsh, right? And I remember, and this is where I got annoyed with someone. I got played a little bit in the audition, I think. So this one lad was like chatting to me. He was like, "You right?" I was like, "Yeah, you right?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm at."
Another actor, right?
What's that?
Another actor.
Yeah. Like, we're about to audition. He's
he's a
wanker. He goes, "How are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, good." He goes, "Yeah. I'm at Drama Centre." I'm like, Drama Centre is like a good drama school, what Tom Hardy went to. And I was like, "Why are you auditioning for the Royal Welsh? You know, like, you're at Drama Centre. Why are you auditioning?" And he's like being a little bit like trying to be a bit like heavy in a certain way. And I was like, this guy's annoying me. Do you know what I mean? And then went back and forwards. Like, I was like, I'm fucking done with this. It's like, I couldn't be bothered. And then I saw him get up and he goes, "Hi, yes, I'm currently doing foundation at Drama Centre, but I'd really love to come to the Royal Welsh." And I was like, "Oh, you fucking rat." Like, you know what I mean? Like, all this sort of stuff. And then he did all this speech. And then I got up and I was like...
He already pissed you off, innit? He'd done you nut.
Yeah, I was a bit like, why is everyone being so fake? And like, it's all arrogant. I'm at Drama Centre, I'm all this. It's like... And my brain just went, wait... You're at Drama Centre. Hey, welcome Royal Welsh. You're not. You're at foundation, but you wanted to... It's like me going, I went Mountain View. I did 3 years Mountain. No, I didn't. Like, and so basically I got up and I was like, 2 speeches, and I was like, I'm going to take my socks off. I don't know what I was doing. I was being weird. I was like, right, through this. I did my speech. I remember just looking out the window.
So you just randomly took your socks off?
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to take this off. I took this off. I was like, everyone else is doing stuff.
Jesus,
I was like,
please take the wheel.
I was like, then I did this speech. I remember looking at people that were on like a certain floor, and I was looking at people going into this sort of church while I'm doing my speech. That's how much I was in it, watching them. And then I did another speech, and then whatever I did, it was very arrogant, because you're supposed to get it takes about 5 days to get your rejection letter.
Yeah.
I got mine like the next day, like a
wow.
rejection letter. And so my next one was Drama Centre, which I actually really, I have any of them, because Tom Hardy went there, Michael Fassbender. I was like, right. But I was a bit like, am I even ready to go anywhere like this? Could I financially do it? So I went in, I did my sort of stuff, and then started chatting to me. You had to write an essay about yourself. They read it and stuff. And they go, why do you want to come here? And I've been speaking to a lot of people at Drama Centre anyway. And I went, I heard that you sort of do Meisner and this sort of thing, so I'm quite interested in those sort of styles. I'm going to stop you there. and stop you. I've had enough of hearing this. We do not do Meisner. We do, and I went, yeah, okay, yeah. You don't do Meisner, but Jutta Hagen, Stella Adler, Lee Strasberg. They're all the same offshoots of Stanislavski, right? So I know what you're talking about. They're just different variations, and then they also do Jaap Malgren stuff. And I go, okay, good. I was like, yeah. And then I was going back and forth. He goes, why do you want to come here? I was like, I don't know if I do. I said, I think I need to get used to auditioning, getting used to being in pressured situations and getting stronger at that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. It's like, I just thought, maybe I'll do it. Do you think you're saying that as an excuse? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'm probably scared of being rejected at the same time, so I'm not really caring at the same time. But that's how I'm going to look at it. And by the time we'd finished, they sort of the guy went, you've been the most honest person we've had in an audition. It's like, and basically that sort of stuff would happen, and so it's like...
You never got into the school?
No.
I thought it was a silver lining.
No. Like, I looked at it this way, like, and I went, like, I know a few of my friends got into different... But I got the Mountain View one. I went to Mountain View and I got into a debate with the guy that ran it as well.
Yeah, I've done a few auditions, but the one I've done one down at the Poor School.
That was the first one I ever did.
Is it?
First one I ever did.
School. Years ago. I've done a few. Guy, he's such a wanker that came out.
Yeah.
Like, it was just so horrible. I mean, I don't need you to, like, it's an audition, all right, I'll do whatever, but do you really have to be so...
I remember that. It was like the first one, actually.
Most actors, what did he say? This was years ago as well. They don't like talking to people, they're reclusive. It was just so negative. Like, I was really excited when I got in it. It's just, mate, but it was horrible.
Say that to Charlie Sheen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's horrible. I just think that process was bullshit. That was that.
Yeah, he's a bit of an arse, and like I've done stuff for people who've gone through that training, and I'd go, ain't worth. Like, acting's pretty much this. If you, it's about working on yourself and understanding your weaknesses, and you can grow. Like, what I was lucky was, like, after all that sort of stuff, I sort of Mountain View was not. I basically went, I need to find something for me. Like, I need something that's about here, and I don't like going, like, someone looks at the script, right, I think it's a Russian accent, I'm going to do this movement. I don't like all that. I want to find it a bit like me learning a language, right? If I learn a language, I can't really do anyway, but if I learn a language, I don't want to, do you know what I mean? I want to slowly learn it so I can actually speak to you. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to just pretend I've got these sentences that I don't know what they mean. I don't really know if I can pretend. Yeah, and like, so I looked at the Actors Temple, and so they specialise as Meisner, and I got a really good teacher called Tom Radcliffe, who actually trained with Sandy Meisner in LA. I was quite lucky, so I went in down. They did like 5 days of just repetition. So basically, what Meisner is the bare bones at very first is working off your partner truthfully. Do you know what I mean?
Like you're wearing a hat, you're wearing a black hat.
That's the first level. Then eventually you get to the points where it's like you're connected. Like, we all know it. We'll do it without thinking about it. But there's those moments where. Where, okay, you're with the missus or something, you go, you're right, yeah, fine. And you're like, the words say, yeah, fine. But the cadence, the energy, everything. Like even today, my missus was like, when I said, oh, I'm going to the podcast, and she looked a bit upset, like she was worried I was going somewhere. But her funny thing was, then I suddenly take it on a little bit, like she's upset. I said, look, I told you. God, and she went, oh, what's this? I told you. And she was like, but her back was hurting as well. And she actually went to an osteopath. So straight away, I'm a bit like, she's upset, I'm going to a podcast. So my response, like, she's Italian, right? So, like, we suddenly go a little bit back and forward. But she says, my back's hurting, then gets a bit teary. Oh, okay, sorry, it's my fault. It's like, I took on her moment. But that's what Meisner is. So we all pick stuff up. It doesn't mean we get it right. Like, but we pick up the energy. But you can see when you walk into somewhere and the person you sort of know, but you know they don't really like you, and then they're like, "All right, mate," or whatever, and you're like. But basically, Meisner's that, right? Like, but the first thing is you do what you do. You go like, yeah, you've got headphones on, and you repeat that. First one is you repeat exactly what I said. So if I went to you, you've got headphones on.
You've got headphones on.
Yeah.
That's how you say it. Like,
but not straight away. The first thing is, can you just listen and repeat? So if I go, you're wearing a bracelet.
You're wearing a bracelet.
That's actually the right thing to say, because that's actually the first level. Then you make it from your point of view. So I go, you're wearing a bracelet. And then you would go, I'm wearing a bracelet.
Okay.
Because it's from you. You're repeating what I say. You see?
I'm wearing a bracelet?
Yeah, and now he's starting to act, right? He's starting to put on... So I would go, if I was teaching this, I go, he's starting to be a bit fake. Just listen and respond. You don't have to do anything. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So, but actually, I'd go like, you've got a grey jumper on.
I've got a grey jumper on.
Yeah, you've got a grey jumper on.
I've got a grey jumper.
See, so he's trying to make something bigger, right? The whole idea of Meisner is that you...
I've got a grey jumper!
And actually, what I did repeat was, yeah, you've got a grey jumper on. So he wasn't completely listening to what I said, and he's not repeating off me.
Yeah.
Like, he's going, right, I need to do something. It's what a lot of actors do. So what you want to do is eventually it teaches you through intention, doing. So intention, sort of like think of independent activity. And so you break everything down, and then you do, like, you work on the text, so words mean things to you truthfully, and then you don't have to do anything but play, and things will come out. You know, instead of going,
nice.
Yeah, it's good in that respect, and then it just makes you just be like, you can't ever be a character, right? You're always you. You can't ever be anything you're not. I know it's like a play on words, but you can't. If I'm a doctor, everyone thinks I'm a doctor. I might speak with a different accent, act a different way.
Craig,
but it's still Craig. Yeah. And so that's all it is.
Do you know
what I mean?
Yeah.
Then I create the illusion of the character, like in the film, like Dog Ass. Like, there's the illusion, and you think I'm Luke. You think Yoni is Jordan. You think you're Errol. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what we've told them. And then they take it on.
So I'm playing the guy you met. I'm playing the guy you met.
Yeah, that I worked with for a little while.
Okay.
Everyone's got a little something.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
So
how did it feel making that?
It was
like,
more.
What was the process like? Getting up to doing that and making it. Okay, so because we're in the acting thing, we're not going to lose that. But at what point did you decide to do that? What was the catalyst, and how easy was it?
So I did quite a lot of bit of writing. I was doing improvs and stuff, and like doing improvisations to create plays that never
sort of
went
like
to fruition. Yeah, like, and then eventually I was a bit like, right, I'm gonna head everything and just do it because I think I'll get it done. I'm just going to go ahead, speak to people, get things set up and get it going. Yoni went to me, we should do something together. I went, all right, let's do something. And I'll write a story. We'll put a little bit of cash in. You know, we'll speak to a lot of people, see what we can get, find locations, and go from there. So I just wrote the script. The script is actually bigger. Right? The whole thing was originally about 47 minutes long. And then I was like, right, I'm just going to cut everything out now and just make it really tight. So there was a bit with Yoni and his mom. There's a bit me on a building site and all this sort of thing. Lots of things that were out there. And I was like, let's keep it tight. I'm going to try and get it for 20 minutes. Boom. But that's the whole process. That was like the first one all the way through. I've done other things where I collaborated, like a film called Touch, another one, No Man's Island. And then, you know, what I'd probably give myself is more time.
Did you write Touch and No Man's Island?
Touch was more a idea, a concept that I came up with, and then I gave it to sort of like when we had to come up with something with that idea, and basically he came up with this visual, like really good. He's very good with called Andy Richardson. He's like very good at the visuals. He's got like, I think he's got a bit of an architect background as well or something like that. Clever guy, and he just and he come up with like, it's only like a 3-minute short, but it was really good.
Where can I see that?
You can actually go on Goat Boy Productions.
Goat Boy Productions.
Yeah, that's it. Goat Boy Productions.
Don't give me that. I'm pronouncing the words properly. It's just for the audience at home so they can understand what I'm saying.
Can you put subtitles on?
No, subtitles. No, there is subtitles on some of the episodes. You know that?
Yeah, that's naturally on YouTube.
Huh?
It's an option on YouTube.
But it doesn't say what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's why it's the YouTube one.
Yeah, it's nonsense, man. It's saying some nonsense. Go on.
It's automated.
Even if you listen to songs with that YouTube subtitles, you're like,
I didn't say that. I want to What? Goat Boy Productions.
Yeah, sure, that's it. Let me have a look.
I have to accentuate certain letters because I'll be like Goat Boy Productions.
I miss most letters. I would go.
Yeah, you see, but just for the audience at home, that's one of the reasons I did that. So here, let's have a look at the avocados.
Yeah, it's all the way from Chile.
So about that, it's a bit colder there, isn't it? But then, talking about that, yeah, what did I have to do to this for it to make it here from Chile in one piece?
Huh? Fly it? A plane?
Yeah.
This is, it's really...
Between your comment and his laugh. Yeah, just for both of you two. But yeah, okay, so when I see New Zealand lamb, why don't I buy British lamb?
That's actually a really good question.
It's got to fly. New Zealand's far away from here.
It basically means the supply is connected to a different country, I'm guessing. So you're needed through different, whatever the business thing that they've set up. So each country has a little bit of power over each country. So you can't just go, let's cut off New Zealand because we'll suddenly cut off the New Zealand.
No. I'm not saying let's cut off no one. I'm just saying me as a person.
No, that's the country. The country can go, Great Britain ain't doing this. We're going to stop supplying you this. It gives you a bit of power, right?
I don't understand.
Like if you've got all your international relations with lots of different countries and you're doing exports and imports, yeah, our lamb is reliant on this country. They might have something that's reliant on us. So they
okay, I get you now.
People just like things from abroad. So how can you trace it? As well,
it's got fucking New Zealand written on it with their flag.
That's right, but that's whoever packaged it, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying
I'm not saying that.
Because it says chili. That's what I said. Because it's chili.
Yeah.
And then, but with this tropical fruits.
Yeah.
But when I'm seeing New Zealand lamb and I know there's British lamb, I'm like, what you have to do to get that lamb don't come over live? Well, I don't know. What we have to do to get that lamb here, what he said, the preservative stuff. Yeah. Why am I not eating British lamb? That's what I'm saying.
But even with British lamb, by the time you're getting it, it's probably been preserved, isn't it?
Yeah, but not as much. Can't be that much as New Zealand.
Goat Boy Enterprises, and then I've got 2 films on there.
So pushers, but I hear what you're saying. Cover pushers, but I just
see like the farmers markets and like the meat market and places like that. It kind of shows you. It can kind of give you an idea of like how they're getting it as well. You know what I mean? Because again, they can't have it for too long.
I think you can get a lot of local source stuff as well. I think that if you can do that, that's quite good because you're using the community in a certain way. Definitely. A bit harder in London, isn't it?
I was just going to say that. That's that Coventry talk.
Yeah, it's like.
Do you know when I went to the country, I remember someone made me a burger from a local cow, and it was a nice burger.
Are you lying?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
A lot of farmers really are quite good in like this country and stuff. Like Americans are like all over the place.
So what's that?
Like the farmers. Like I worked at the Royal Welsh. I think it's the Royal Welsh Fair. Or I can't remember what it's called. But basically, the farmers they love their animals. It's all part of their culture.
Would they love the animals? Do they love the animals?
Probably. Sheep and stuff like that.
Sheep shagging.
Yeah, there's that. Wow. That's where that concept potentially.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah, of course.
Sheep shagging.
It's like,
oh wow. Sorry, there was something.
Like you daydreamed about sheep there.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Cheers. Yeah, I want to be in the field of a sheep. Yeah, right.
I've told you about the next film I'm considering. Errol,
there's not digressing.
We spoke about it, and he said this is a great idea. You should bring it up on the podcast. So basically, the two guys, the older guys, which his character's the older guy, and another one called Sav, played by Steve.
Yeah.
I think what happens is that they're really lovers. And then from there, we get to see your...
This guy.
So he goes from gay to animal.
And because he's actually slightly Welsh.
He goes from gay to animal. Listen here, this guy here. All right, let me ask you this, yeah? Right, this is not connected. This was coming. I swear to God it was coming. How come, or do you think there's a connection with not being in London? Because this sprung in my head when you said then you moved down to London after doing the Navy thing. A lot of people in the country try and do this Navy thing, like with all men. I'm joking. But a lot of people do this Navy thing or Army thing or whatever. Do you think that is because of you're in the country and there's nothing else to do? That's the first port of call. Why is that?
I did it a bit like I went, this would be a good way to save some money while not having to do like a job I hate.
Did your dad have something to do with it though? Because
it was more my mum's side. Her side's more forces based. Like my uncle was, I think, a tank commander or something like that.
Wow!
Yeah, my mum was always going, "You should go to the forces. You should go to the forces. You should go to the army." I was like, "I ain't going to the army."
But a lot of people in the country do that. Do you know what I mean? Like you get a lot of boys from outside London. They've got that opposed to other things that we there's more stuff to do. You
might also find that maybe a few more of the London lads, they might go for more officer stuff maybe, if they know about that.
I was a territorial army, but I tried to join the army when I was, 20-something as well, but I had a criminal record. I had a community service or something.
Does that matter as well?
Yeah, unless all your convictions spent, you can't go. I done the whole test and everything. Thanks God I didn't get in.
Because like sometimes in the movies they depict that if if you're living a bit of a rough life, you might as well go to the army.
I think in America it's slightly different.
America, it's different, isn't it? But I think there's time. I can't even talk. There's times when they give them the options.
Yeah.
Go jail or go to army.
Because I think in America they also get loads of people to do lots of work, right, to make products and stuff like that. So it keeps the and
they got boot camp and things like that.
What do you mean when they go to jail?
Yeah, I think so. I think you get a lot of they produce things.
Yeah,
I think so.
Use the economy right.
Yeah, so it's a good way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't ever want to go to the army or go to produce nothing in an American jail. Doghouse. Go back to Doghouse.
Yeah, I did a second film as well. I did that last year.
Don't you start talking about Brighton again?
No, that's your special.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, thank you.
But I did a second one, which was a bit more of a heavy subject.
Okay.
Like they're always, all the subjects are always like Doghouse was more about family turmoil between brothers. Mm-hmm. And so, and that's, sometimes you have to fight to get that connection back, Mm-hmm. Perdition is one that we're just colour grading. Perdition, yeah. Perdition. Yeah, so...
what does that mean?
I think, let me just get it, I did know. I was literally going...
If I don't know our last, it's not...
No, I was actually going I think it's sort of almost like purgatory.
Purgatory, that's purgatory in the middle.
Yeah, you're like trapped between hell and
that's like half.
That's it. That's
why I was married. When I was married, I was in purgatory. I wish I could laugh like you. I was in purgatory when I was married.
Perdition is.
I wish I could do that. It's like Eddie Murphy.
Perdition means eternal suffering.
I was in this. I was in this.
Do you want me to read
Sorry, go on. You can't see it, but
so it's a state
thank
of eternal.
God for God, man. Thank God it's freed me. Sorry.
It's a state of eternal punishment and damnation in which a sinful, unrepented person passes after death.
Sounds like marriage.
Yeah, and literally.
No, I'm joking. Everybody says nice marriages.
But that's actually because it's quite a heavy subject matter because it's about child abuse, and it's about child abuse, what happened to these people when they're younger, and then they catch up with the guy that.
They're like Sleepers. You see Sleepers?
Yeah, basically that was one of the inspirations. I found a scene in Sleepers and that sent my mind off. And then we all spoke about stories and based it on a real story.
I really didn't. I can't I watched that film.
The bit where they kill him.
Yeah, I watched the whole film, but back
there's two Sleepers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one's about.
I watched the old one.
No. They're two different films.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They're two separate. I think they're both old, but they're two different topics.
No, there's one that's older, and there's one that came out a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, the older one.
Yeah.
Another one came out.
No, I don't know. You talking about the one that came out kind of like within the last 10 years?
No, longer than that.
About 1992 or something.
92, yeah, about 8 years.
No, that's the first one though, isn't
That's the Brad Pitt one. But I thought Sleepers the other Sleepers was like a supernatural.
Are you thinking about Flatliners?
That's something different, but they called that Sleepers, didn't they?
No, I knew what he was thinking.
Wow. Yeah, there's another film called Sleepers, but I know Flatliners.
But
then Kevin Bacon's in both of them films.
Yeah, that's it. The Flatliners, they brought another one out about 2 years ago.
And it's totally different
to
the original.
Okay.
Similar concept, but they amped up everything a bit.
Okay, I need to see that.
Yeah.
I know. I remember Flatliners, the first one.
Sleepers, 1996. It's got Robert De Niro, Kevin Bacon, Brad Pitt.
Maybe I've seen Sleepers.
It was horrible, man.
Justin Hoffman. But basically the bit where they see him again
in the bar in the cafe.
Yeah, and they shoot him.
And Kevin Bacon. He's all fucked up.
It's basically that. But then we played with religious psychosis that was based around one of the actors' family members. Then we played with like actual experiences and read research and stuff like that. And so. Yeah, so that's basically it's quite.
Are you independent in producing your stuff?
Yeah, we did everything.
So do you produce like in terms of production, in terms of?
Yeah, I do everything. I do everything. Be happy about it, motherfucker.
Yeah, do you know you have to get your props. Yeah, you got to get your props when it's like that because we're independent.
It's not easy.
As well. We know how hard it is.
You know the worst thing is
they're serious.
The worst thing is when you're supposed to be like the thing is you'll always find someone. Like with Doghouse, the reason it got finished because I was like, right, I'll put like it's supposed to be me, Yoni, like, but he's got his life. He got married. He went to LA. I was like, right, I need to get this done. Like, I'm the only one that's get this finished. So I got the stuff. I got like a PC. I was like, I'm gonna edit it. I'm gonna color grade it. I'm gonna sound it. Yeah. Boom. Then I'm gonna send the sound over to someone who's a pro because the sound's really important. Get him to fix it. that's done. And then Perdition was too big a project for me to do. I did the first rough edit, but I was like, I'm almost like a bit like the leader where I'm like, yo guys, let's get this going. And
you've got the fire under your belly. You've got the hunger. You was talking earlier on about people, the wedding and the this and the people wanting to just change just for getting a dress. But you got that hunger. Like you lot said fuck this. You built your ark and said go in the water. You done this. Your ship's sailing. You're the same. You can't wait for people to do certain things. The hunger you have, that's your drive, and you're a go-getter. That's the
do you know where I think that sort of comes from a little bit? So I learned this quite early. Like I think, like, you know, whatever life you've lived, it can give you like treasures that no one else can have because it's only you living that, right? And it's either you can hate them or you can use them. And so when I look at people that have been to drama school, who've like literally done all that and done good at school, I sometimes look at it like this. I go, what is, you put them in the situation, they'll do really well. They'll do really well. They've been literally like, they've gone this. You stick them in there, they'll flourish. You don't give them that opportunity, they'll just sit on the sofa, waiting. Go get whatever else it is. They'll go into the job where it is. You know, they'll be like a cog, but they'll never go, right, I need to go and get the auditions. I need to make something. I need to do this. And I think it's because where I sort of come from was when I started playing football, I wasn't as good as the other lads who played football because I didn't play. So I was like, right, I need to practice. So I went and kicked the football. Do you know what I mean? Like all that sort of stuff. I was always like, when I went to the gym, I went because of some underlining thing where I wanted to be bigger, stronger, faster, because I was so scared probably, you know? And then you have to drive, you have to get up out of bed and go to the gym. You can't go, oh, I'll wait for someone to come and get me. It's like, no, I'll go to the gym and train by myself. I'll do that. I'll do everything. Don't tell me what to do and help me, but I'll do it, you know?
You've got something that's inside you though as well.
Yeah.
Like that every people have, because you're nuts, like in a good way of nuts. You're hungry, you're nuts. It's like, he's the sort of person, we could all have a drinking session or whatever, next one last time together. Let's go, Craig. Craig, oh, come on, let's do. He'll get on, right, opposed to, like, oh, no, I don't want to go. You'll be involved. You'll be, all right, you know, I'll be the instigator, but you'll still be involved.
Yeah.
You've got that in you, do you know what I mean? Yeah. You're he's just like a jack in the box.
I feel like you see creative people and the people that are still very creative, it's like they let their inner child live. Like your inner child's still alive.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people let their inner child die. You know, like...
Well, life kills it in the child, like, everything, they're like going to work,
they took on the concept of the world too much, where, like, you know, like the same part of us that like to do drama and like that, the acting stuff, the things that you do when you're older, it's just an upgrade version of that. It's like of that child.
Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? So it's like the child, it's got more access to different things. Like, what would that child have done if he had, access to money, access to all it. So when you have those things, you start... You still like, you never let your creativity and the things that you believe in.
Yeah.
That will go together with his, like, that's the anti-Fight Club.
Yeah.
Your one's the right way. That's anti-Fight Club. It's going like, get a job, get married, get there. But don't do that. Funny. Do that. No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what's really funny. Like, Fight Club was one of the films that, like, I had that helped me. So I had two people that probably turned my life into two things, and it's interesting. That helped me on my way. Fight Club was like a big film for me. I was like, it made me sort of go, you know, you're not free to do anything till you've lost everything. That sort of stuff. You know, like hit rock bottom, go here, go there, like be anti-corporate and all this sort of thing.
I'm always saying that. If you don't hit rock bottom, it's like trampoline effect.
Yeah.
The lower you go.
Yeah. It's like going to, like, I don't know if you like Jordan Peterson or whatever, but he often goes something.
Who's that?
He's sort of I don't know what you'd say, like a self-help type guy, like a do
you know
talker.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, have a look at some of his stuff.
He's got a husky voice.
He's Canadian.
Okay, yeah.
He'll often go like, when you fall into chaos and stuff like this, he goes like, say imagine you've been married and you thought everything was going great, and then suddenly you found out your partner had been cheating for 5 years. All that you thought was true has now just fallen away. Mm-hmm. That creates people to fall into chaos. They'll go, he said, all you've got when you fall into chaos where everything falls to pieces is your sword and shield of truth. That's all you've got. And you've got to fight the dragons. He uses a lot of, like, you know, religious sort of context. He goes more like it's all these religious things and stories and fairy tales are all stories of people, what they've been through. You know, they're different experiences. Put on. So like he goes, Beauty and the Beast is like a very powerful one, because you've got a very strong, caring, independent woman there that people should go, that's how, that's a good one, for all the feminists out there. But they don't care about that, do they? And they go, she can see, what's his name, Gastoff? He's good looking, got loads of money, muscles, everything else, but he's fake. He's not real. She can see through it and pushes him away. But she sees the Beast and is like, there's a truth in him. There's something, he's unkept and he's lost, but he's got some truth there, and he's the real person to go for, not the big fake, hi, I'm everything. Pinocchio as well talks about that, like how Pinocchio, you're seeing how to become a real boy, like to grow up. When he's pushed on stage and he starts to feel shame for the first time, and all these, and he's being manipulated by managers and stuff like this. It's clever. He's really good listening to. Some people give him try and manipulate and say he's like right wing and stuff. But you listen to his stuff and go, you're just making that up. Where are you getting that from? But
so you're saying the women shouldn't trust guys with muscles, Craig? Yeah.
bigger muscles than me. Muscles and lots of money.
It's conditional,
I'm dead. So your favourite, we're going to start winding down, so I'm asking a few more questions, then whatever if you want to get off your chest or say, please get ready and get it out. If you could do any role that's past or present or coming, what would it be and why?
I don't know. That's like there's many roles I'd like to. That
give me one then. Give me one.
I don't. I'm almost like, I'm quite like the Doghouse one was one where I was like, did I do it as well as I wanted to? Probably not. But I was like, that got there a little bit. I'd like to do something like, everybody like to do like the Joker role, right? And stuff like, you watch someone like Joaquin Phoenix or Heath Ledger, like literally do those iconic roles. And if you can find a way in and you find that truth in you, you can make it like, not like Jared Leto, who's trying to act it all the way.
Who?
Jared Leto played the Joker in Suicide Squad. So he's like someone that's all based on this looks good, this looks good. That's why this doesn't work. While Joaquin Phoenix is all about what comes from in here. Like,
and Heath Ledger as well,
yeah, him as well. It's like he'll be photographer, taking photos, skating, all this sort of thing. So something like that where you can really, like another role like Brando in virtually like Apocalypse Now. If you watch how much gravitas he's got in that.
Love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah, all that stuff.
It's a fucking star-studded cast, that is, though.
Yeah, heavy. Like, what's his name? Martin Sheen, is that his name?
There's so many people.
He had a heart attack on that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Tom Burgess in that as well. William Dafoe. Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah.
There's a lot of faces in that, man. There's a lot. It's a good
film. It's heavy.
See, I can take that kind of heaviness because it's I don't know. It's more raw. It's
that's
real.
psychological.
But it's not okay. It's not molesting or beating and I don't hate when people are forced through stuff.
You should watch a film called Antichrist.
No.
Who's your favourite actors?
So Marlon Brando is probably
your favourite actor. Marlon Brando.
Probably I've got quite a few for different reasons. Like Marlon Brando. 5. Yeah, Marlon Brando is one of my favourites. Just because he was one of the first people to literally sort of like he was against the gesturing sort of actors of that time. He was just real and in it, and he's just he went through a lot, and you can see it. He's got a lot of pathos, as they say. Philip Seymour Hoffman was more down that route of where you gravitas to like all the actors that look great and all this sort of thing, but sometimes you go, actually I want the guy that convinces me. And the first time he convinced me was in Talented Mr. Ripley, where I was like, I don't like that actor.
Oh wow, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
fucking wicked, good actor.
Yeah, man. He's dead.
I know he's dead.
Yeah, heroin overdose.
Yeah, I know he's dead.
And something like in The Master.
We're human people. We're human beings, man.
I know.
Go on, who else?
It's like, sort of like I like Tom Hardy. Like he's one, just more because he's a little bit.
He's on the list. He's on my list.
So he's a little bit, sort of heavy. I think we gravitas to those things that we sort of see in ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, he's on my list. Tom Hardy's on my list.
Yeah,
he's on my list.
Especially like Warrior and sort of like Bronson and Inception.
I like him in Warrior and Bronson, but I have to say I think he's done so many good roles. But Warrior's a killer role. I love it. But I think him in Pinky Blinders,
I haven't seen that yet.
You need to watch it.
I need to.
Him in Pinky Blinders, oh my God. He doesn't even talk much.
Yeah,
he kills it. There's a bit where he goes, what is it? He's having a conversation with someone, and the person's ranting.
Yeah.
And he's ranting, he's talking. He's in the middle of it talking. He's like, look, talk. I genuinely want to hear what you have to say. I never gave the line anything what he gave it, but he's like, the person's ranting, like I'm talking now, but he's basically saying, look, you're talking shit, say something to me, because you're talking shit.
Is he Solomon?
He's Solomon, but he said it so slow, he plays the Jewish role so well. Like, oh my God. Like,
I do like him.
He does another one where he's in a bar, and I can't remember what it is, and the Russian mob keep coming up. I can't remember what the film's called, but it's less is more with him.
What happens in the film?
He runs a bar for someone, but there's something.
Not Locke, but I know which one it is. It's the one with
good fucking film.
What's his name?
Plays good in it because he doesn't do much, but someone gets killed.
It's with Gandolfini.
It's a good film.
Yeah, he's dead as well.
Yeah.
And so James Gandolfini, he died as well.
Oh mate, but let's leave it where it is.
I'll probably say someone like. I like Gary Oldman as well. Like the stuff. If you watch what he's done, if you watch him something like True Romance, you watch him in that. He's ridiculous.
Come on, have you seen that?
No.
He won a white boy day. He's a white boy day. But he kills it.
He's so good. Like
he kills it.
Yeah.
He kills it.
Yeah.
He just murders it. I can't. In Leon, he murders it.
Yeah.
But he murders it in the Firm. He's good in the Firm.
Yeah, he's good.
He's in the Firm, but in True Romance was one of my favourite films.
Great.
One of my favourite films. That's an all-star cast.
Yeah.
He's a white pimp dread, but he goes on like he's Jamaican.
Yeah.
He's in America, but if he kills it, he's arrogant.
He's so good.
He just kills you, believe it. True Romance.
His name's Draxel.
Drexel.
What's his actual name, the actor, I'm saying?
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. He's sick. Like, if you watch him, like, he's so good. He's like
really good.
Throw a couple more actors in there, even yourself.
Clint Eastwood. I've got Sidney Poitier. Yeah. I got who else? I got Clint Eastwood.
Montgomery Clift.
Who's Montgomery Clift?
He's called the longest suicide in Hollywood.
What does he look like?
He was like a bit like a Tom Cruise type person, but he had like depression. He's very good, but
what does he look like?
He is in a car crash, like Tom Cruise.
I don't know him. I'll do what's his face? Iron Man.
He looks a little bit cross between him and Robert Downey Jr.
I love Iron Man because Iron Man I like Robert Downey Jr.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, across the board. Because he fell off as well. Mm-hmm. He fell off and then he done the whole.
Get insured.
The Sherlock Holmeses, the Iron Man.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh my God! You know Tropic Thunder, right?
No, I'm.
Have you not seen Tropic Thunder?
Oh, you have to watch it.
Sometimes I'm terrible with actors and movies.
Listen, Tropic Thunder. Robert Downey Jr. blacks up.
Yeah.
No, blacks out. He blacks out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And he goes, what do you mean, you people? That, oh my God, that film
I just forgot the title.
That film.
He's an American playing Australian. He's like,
they just mix it.
Keep saying a couple more names.
Jack Black's good. I like Jack Black. But I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, he's good.
I like Leonardo DiCaprio. But what I want to say is, like, when I say someone's good, is a good actor, I can have people that are good actors. Daniel Day-Lewis, definitely. I think they're good actors. Ridiculous. But people that have done stuff and I've watched them, I've been so engrossed in what they're doing. I love fucking Face Off as well. John Travolta and Nicolas Cage. Yeah. Nicolas Cage ain't good across the board.
No, Nicolas Cage, have you seen the film he's going to do next?
Yeah. No.
He's doing a film where it's about him.
Good for Nicolas him. A bit like meeting John Malkovich.
Yeah, it's supposed to be mental, but it's supposed to be so funny.
But he is crazy. Like, I like him in Con Air.
Yeah,
I like him in The Rock.
What's the guy that used to be in Cheers?
In Cheers? Ted Danson.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's a great actor as well.
He's cold, man.
He's a great actor as well.
He was terrible in the new Venom though.
What?
I ain't seen him lately.
But he doesn't. Because he didn't work up. But At the Furnace.
Wesley Snipes is really good as well.
Wesley Snipes, but he's a good actor.
Out the Furnace is good. Kingpin. No, he's good. Woody Harrelson across the board. He's Natural Born Killers. You've got a lot of films he's done, you know. Yeah.
But Wesley Snipes is a great actor. He sold out a lot of other people like at a certain time. But
he got Wesley Snipes. He got a massive tax bill or something, right?
He got fucked up. He got fucked up.
He did good. I liked him in Blade.
If you see that
he's amazing.
Even from Blade and all that.
But he didn't want to do Blade 3.
He did.
No, he couldn't be bothered.
He did that new series with Kevin Hart. I thought, you know what? Because I looked at it, I didn't feel like it was Wesley Snipes.
He didn't, but he's not. But you see,
no, but that's when I think someone's a good actor. You know, like when you throw me off of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, that's not Blade.
Yeah. You're definitely right. But you know what? As well, I totally agree with what you're saying. But he looks old. I've only watched the first episode. I couldn't watch it. No, I know. So therefore, it isn't Blade. It's the old ones he's done.
But he's still.
Do you get what I mean?
If you put the Blade suit on, he would just look like Blade older.
Yeah.
If you understand what I'm saying, he not like he's. Like I say, those are the kind of things I watch and make me like an actor.
Mickey Rourke. I liked Mickey Rourke.
River Phoenix and all of that. River Phoenix was really good as well.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix as well.
He passed away.
Who done? River Phoenix done Lost Boys, right?
Yeah.
No, Corey Haim done Lost Boys. You seen Lost Boys?
No, it's
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Corey Haim's done Lost Boys.
Yeah, he did. River Phoenix did the other one with where I think they're walking on the train track is the poster.
Stand by me.
Yeah, I think it was that one.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves is bad as well. Didn't mention him.
What?
No.
Keanu Reeves died.
No, I said he's bad.
No, bad isn't good.
Yeah, isn't good.
He's right. Yeah, he's alright still. I like a lot of
movies over the years. You know
I like Speed. I like the new ones, the John Wick ones.
Do you know we ain't said no? We ain't said no females.
I was going to say that. What about females?
We have to get them all in. I tell you, it's like one of those. It's like Kate Blanchett's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
You got like
the woman from Kill Bill. What's her name?
Uma Thurman.
Meryl
Streep. You know what I mean?
Now, if you want to talk female, my and it will be less, but there's a lot of good female actors out there. But it will just be less if you talk females, and I'll definitely be the first to go. I'll go first to Sigourney Weaver.
What's the woman from Speed as
well? My homegirl, Sigourney Weaver. That's my homegirl, Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
I have to say, that's my homegirl. Because she done, like for me, Sigourney Weaver done Aliens, she done Working Girl. Yeah. She does comedy and serious
stuff. She was wicked
and she does it, and she does it all well. She does it. Whatever she does well. Like, that's, if an actor does comedy and seriousness, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of women, but Sigourney Weaver, and she was sexy as fuck, man. Yeah. And she still holds her own now.
Yeah.
She still holds her own now. There's some really good actors, but for me, I just leave her Sigourney Weaver. I can't think of no one else really. Oh, Oprah. I liked Oprah in Colour Purple. I can't lie. Yeah. I didn't like Colour Purple.
Everyone's like, Oprah.
Yeah, no, you need to watch Colour Purple. You seen Colour Purple?
She's a good actress, Oprah.
No, have you seen the Colour Purple?
No.
Have you seen the Colour Purple?
Yeah,
it was a long time ago. You seen Colour Purple?
Deep.
Made me cry when I was young. Oprah, and she gets beat, and then she
Precious, that girl Precious, she's a good actor.
Oh, she's only ever done that film, I think, didn't she? She didn't do The Girl in Precious.
Precious was her first film. Yeah, she's got loads after.
She got loads after that.
Who's Precious?
It's like a
the one with the abuse one.
Black girl.
You haven't seen it.
Wasn't
she in
she's in loads of things now.
That was a thing on Empire, not Empire.
Yeah.
Is it Empire?
She's like the secretary in Empire.
Yeah, the gopher.
Yeah. But she, if that movie's deep as well, like the way she done that movie, she did it quite deep. You know what I'm saying?
If you could play any role,
me. Yes. Probably action film, to be honest.
What one though? I can see him doing it as well. What you talking about? Here I come to save the day.
Not really, like it's like Die Hard. You know what I'm saying?
That's the same thing though.
Yeah, we didn't say Bruce Willis.
No, but yeah, you know what? We didn't. But that's what it is.
Bruce,
but that's the same
even
thing.
Samuel L. Jackson, classic.
Yeah, but you can't have the moves. Like I like chicken, lamb, beef. I can't even.
Do you know what? You know,
like them.
What's good about saying all of these names is you know that sometimes when you sit down and want to watch a movie, it's so hard to think of a movie to watch. Sometimes I base the movies on the actors. That's how I
okay.
Yeah. I'd rather base watching the movie on the actors rather than the names of the movies. You know?
James Cagney.
Yes.
Then James Cagney. And some of the older ones, Humphrey Bogart.
Al Pacino,
definitely.
You forgot about Robert De Niro.
No, I remembered them, but
I used to confuse them when I was when I was younger, I used to always get them confused. Even not that I confused what they look like, just their names. Which one was De Niro? Which one?
My girlfriend, we were watching Heat the other day.
Yeah, Matt Damon was right.
She got them mixed up. She was like, I thought he was the bad guy. I was like, no, they're different people. It's like,
that guy who played the he's in True Romance as well. He fucks up Patricia Arquette in True Romance. What's his name? I think he does.
Christian Slater.
No, he doesn't fuck her. He fucks her up. No, like he batters
James
her.
Gandolfini.
Huh?
It's James Gandolfini.
Is James Gandolfini? He does The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Man.
He's dead.
Yeah, I know he's dead.
It's like to people are dead.
Yeah, but at least he left an impact.
His son now plays the role in the Sopranos movie. Yeah. The son plays the same role in the Sopranos movie, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is now playing a role in the same director that basically made Philip Seymour Hoffman famous. So there's a lot of like the kids are now.
That's big, yeah.
That's good. As long
as they're good.
No, that's good. Well, they're getting a chance. You can acting. You can be taught certain things. You might not be amazing, but like you said, if you work hard enough, you can go into a niche and do certain things. Some people are fantastic, amazing. Some people just fill the criteria and they just do what it says on the box.
What's your favourite genre as well?
Belly's genre.
I don't know. Like,
what's your preferred genre that your go-to genre? Mine is comedy.
Yeah, I'd probably.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. Sir Charles Dance.
Oh yeah.
What's that in genre?
No, Sir Charles Dance. He's an actor. He's a British actor. We bump into him at the dry cleaners up there. That's how close he is to here. But like, he was brother. He was
Game of Thrones.
No, fuck Game of Thrones. Sorry, Game of Thrones. Anyway, fuck Game of Thrones. I like Game of Thrones. Sorry, Craig, as well.
He's also Alien 3.
No, Golden Child. Yeah, he was the villain in Golden Child.
He was the demon.
The demon. Brother Numsy. Hey, Brother Numsy. You didn't see Golden Child? He's from around here. Yeah. But yeah, sorry, Craig. I don't know. I get so emotional. I get so excited. No, in Game of Thrones, he kills it. He absolutely kills it.
He gets killed on the toilet.
No, but he kills it. You know, like the guy goes, something. He goes, you're not on trial for being a dwarf. Like the way he drops his lines. Yeah, they're so like this. Like you have to watch. He's
old school. He is
old school.
Like Peter O'Toole and Richard Harris.
He'll say it before he says
Joe Pesci. If we're going back into that,
who?
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci's amazing.
Yeah, he's
Danny
good.
DeVito.
Yeah. They're both good.
Danny DeVito. Yeah.
He's good in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah, but you see, like Joe Pesci, I'll take Joe Pesci. Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because of Curly Sue and Casino.
And Home Alone.
And Home Alone.
The difference.
Yeah. That's the same thing. Curly Sue, Casino, Home Alone, Goodfellas. Yeah. That's what I'll take those because of the difference.
As for like Home Alone,
Lethal Weapon 2, Lisa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck it. Okay.
But you see the way you can switch up on Home Alone, like you can be that comedic villain, but be a good fella, real like, and make people feel like you're a real mafia guy.
Do you remember what he just said though? Lethal Weapon.
He's in Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah, remember Lethal Weapon?
He was in Lethal Weapon.
He's a pump in Lethal Weapon. He's like
they mug him in the
they mug him. That's a good couple of movies.
Yeah, like was it? Danny DeVito's not bad. He's quite good.
I never said Danny. When I say that, I don't mean Danny DeVito's bad. And like,
have you seen him in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah,
he's actually really good in that. Yeah, he's really
good. But when I'm comparing him to like that's what I'm saying. Like, okay,
Penguin.
Yeah, that's because he's good in Penguin, but there's the twins. You got all these things, but he can't stand next to Joe Pesci, or he can't stand. Who's another midget who's good? I can't think of another midget who's good. No, it is what it is, isn't it? Bob Hoskins,
the guy from Game of Thrones.
Oh, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah,
but that's being bad. That's like Danny DeVito hasn't got a medical condition. He's got a medical condition, but he's a great fucking actor. Danny DeVito's just short, isn't he? He's short and fat.
I don't know where it's cut off. I
don't
know what point. It's like I think Danny DeVito's like 4 foot.
He's short and fat.
Who do you guys think is the most typecasted actors?
Typecasted.
And what do you think about typecasting as well?
Does it still happen, you reckon?
I
do. Yeah.
Who would you say? I don't know.
Depends what they typecast.
Keanu Reeves does a lot of the same kind of movies. Some people do the same kind of genre.
I'd say not to be as great as Al Pacino is, and he's had some great roles. I feel like he's a bit typecasted.
Yeah. He's got to that point though. Now it's like
De Niro goes. He gets some different kind of movies. You see him in a bit more different.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise definitely.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, but he does his own. He types his own cast though, doesn't he?
He's just like Mission
Impossible. He casts his own type. Yeah.
It's like Tom Cruise in.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I think he gets bums on seats and he enjoys doing it. And don't you think that's him trying to hold back the hands of time?
Yeah, I really liked him in Magnolia though. He's really good in that.
Another film I haven't seen it though.
Yeah, really good.
That's quite old.
Yeah, good film.
Do you
Meryl Streep in that?
No.
What woman's in that?
The redhead woman that's in the Silence of the Lambs 2, Hannibal. I can't remember what her name that replaced.
Yeah, I know. I can picture her.
I can't remember her name now. It's got red hair.
What's your favourite genres of movies?
I'd say comedy. Mine's comedy. Comedy, action, and thriller. You'll probably go in that order.
Bit of drama.
I think I can watch almost anything. It depends on my mood.
What's your go-to though?
Action.
Action's
my go-to.
I think it depends.
Everyone has not really.
It's got good.
It's good though. I like. Okay, so I would say like against liking your film, because the people that can't act but I still like their films, and they get off of, but they're just like Conan.
He's got good presence. That's the thing. He's very confident and he's good at what he does. He's not like dynamic and stuff. He's good at doing what he does. You know, it's like Sylvester Stallone's a better actor than Schwarzenegger. Yeah, by quite a bit.
Yeah, but I like both of them, man.
Yeah.
What was I saying again? Yeah, you must have a go-to though.
It depends. I get more into depends what I'm watching.
I think you're a bit of a horror thriller kind of guy.
No, I'll be like, you know, I like all my Fight Club, Shane,
See,
you know,
thriller action.
Yeah, like Steve McQueen and all that. Then I'll go Darren Aronofsky.
Steve McQueen.
Yeah, great.
What's his...
The director.
Okay.
But you're saying a lot of thrillers.
I thought about my man. Who played Cool Hand Luke?
I know who you mean. I can't think of his name.
Who played Cool Hand Luke? Wasn't it Steve McQueen? Wasn't that in it?
Yeah, might have been him.
Because I reckon you're like an action comedy thriller guy.
I want a film to be a good film.
So this is a drama. Shame's like a drama. So I don't know. It depends.
That gun film.
But drama,
thrillers
and dramas are the same thing almost, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like. Then I'll like a bit of Marvel, like occasionally, and get into that.
Action.
I like sci-fi. Like
sci-fi.
if you bring
sci-fi,
if like someone brought out another Alien, Predator film.
Do you know, like if you went home today and you just thought like watching a movie while you was kicking back? What kind of?
You do know we're on. You lot can talk. We're on set, you know.
Like if it was something like
Marnie's on her way, so
like if it's something I've seen, I'd probably watch something like Aliens, all that lot. You know, Alien 2, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, all that sort of thing. Cool. If it's something I haven't seen, you know what I mean? Like, if it's something like Marvel's gone in the cinema, I'll go get it. So I quite like sci-fi in a certain way, like the new Dune. I quite like that. I think that's always had a bit of a fascination.
So it kind of brought us to sci-fi and kind of like reality.
Quite heavy. Yeah. So like Fight Club as well, I quite like that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's
action. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I think as men we naturally like action, so we have to. I think all of us would have to naturally put action in there.
Snatch fall under that.
Action though, as well. You know what I mean?
Action comedy.
Yeah.
No, because it's just one of my favourite films as well.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Snatch. What's in the car? Seats and the steering wheel. He's in Snatch, but that's Lock Stock.
I get confused with them both.
If the milk turns sour,
Snatch.
I'm not the kind of pussy to drink it.
Yeah, Snatch is the one that's like, I'm sweet enough. That one.
Yeah. No,
you know the definition of nemesis?
Already. No, but I think he just done both of them. Like it's like what? It's like almost like a 1 and 2.
Yeah.
They're kind of like.
Then you got Rock and Roller just on the back end of it.
I think that was good as well.
Speaking of Marvel and them things, you lot think like franchises have like changed the world of acting?
I think like I watched Eternals the other day. And I was a bit like, what would they have done if it was done in the 90s? Imagine you had the same time.
What's Eternals?
It's like a new Marvel film.
Yeah.
And I thought like the overall direction's quite weak. Like a lot of the shots where I was going like, why is the Jon Snow character and the other character like so close to each other in every shot? So on a technical point of view, I thought the writing was a bit weak. I was like, everyone's got their own accents. And so I was speaking to someone about this the other day. So you've got Scottish, Irish, you've got everyone in there with their accents. I was like, when you originally went to like people that went to drama school in like the 70s, 80s and stuff like that, they were told to go RP so they could have accents from all different places. Then eventually you sort of like go into drama schools now. Oh, you're Welsh, keep your Welsh accent, this, that and the other. So I think that's where it's slipping a little bit because it used to be like we could all sit down and go, how do I hear this character?
I'd slightly say that maybe that's something to do with Stan Lee and his inclusion thing.
Yeah.
Because like Stan Lee was always about including as much cultures and colours, creeds, of people into even the comic, so everyone could find someone that they could relate to. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know whether that's their little part of trying to keep that Stan Lee differences.
It's more of a common thing now in a lot of movies now where people will keep their accent more. And I think as an actor, you sort of like go, my go-to is sounding exactly how I am, but actually I want to sit down and really be creative,
and like fit into the role.
Yeah, and go, I'm an actual alien. How do I work this out? Where does it come from? I could speak thousands of different languages. You know what I mean? That's what that would be harder. It would take people a lot. They don't have that much time on set. Like De Niro in Taxi Driver, the film was built around him. Now the actors have to come in and go, boom. You know.
So true.
I think that's also another thing. That's the only. You know, look at all Marvel. I think everyone's pretty much plays themselves, right? Even Scarlet Witch had a Russian accent at one point. Now it's gone to American. So it's like, it's like I think it's quicker as well. You can bang the stuff out, right? And so that's probably the only thing I'd say. I miss those creative choices in a way, you know. But that's all I thought when I watched Eternals the other day. I was like,
we can still create those choices and not settle for less. It's like I've got a couple of things coming up, and then being from that old school, like I mentioned James Cagney and certain other things, like I haven't got the technical background of studying in certain drama. I've never went to drama school. I've studied in that. I never went to like 3-year drama course or anything like that. But I found like studying the old guys and studying the new guys and cross-referencing it and looking what did they do, how to get certain things across, gives you that thing. And then if you choose now to be the person who's you want to come in, but you want to do the American, you want to do the American accent, you want to do the Scottish, it's
like Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to get Daniel Day-Lewis to come in and go, right, we want you to do this accent. He go, I ain't doing it. He goes, I work on it, and I'll bring. Like, I want you to play Abraham Lincoln. He will do the work and become Abraham Lincoln. He'll in the Boxer where he's Irish, you know, in the Name of the Father. Like he'll find it in becoming.
Film, I've seen that.
Even Mel Gibson saying that, we didn't mention him.
I don't like Mel Gibson.
He's interesting.
I think he's done good with accents, because when you think about like him being the American in Lethal Weapon, being Scottish in Braveheart,
you know,
being like, you know what I'm saying, and he's Australian, isn't it?
Yeah, he's Australian. A lot of the Australians can do that. They can come out.
Australians are good actors.
They can do that. A lot of them come out. A lot of them come out. But like, anyway, I'm not going to talk about it anymore.
Is it a personal thing?
yeah. It is.
Okay, yeah.
It's just how it just is. I'll be honest, it is. It is.
Will Smith, yeah. Will Smith is.
Will Smith, isn't he?
Yeah, it's Will Smith, the League of His Own.
But he's okay. He's become a bit different to me recently.
That's why I say League of His Own, because I'm like, you can't really chat to Will Smith like when it comes to, because he's got some of the amazing films like Pursuit to Happiness. If you wanna something to test his acting, Bad Boys.
Yeah,
but Bad Boys is just fun. You know what I mean? Like, it's just fun. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? It's fun. But you know, like Pursuit to Happiness, when we're talking about,
I haven't actually seen that one.
You have to watch that.
I haven't seen it.
Watch the Pursuit to Happiness. You respect his acting on another level.
Is that the one where his son's in it?
Yeah, his son's in it.
I missed it. I just never did that one.
He's got 2 of his sons in it.
Oh, has he?
Yeah. So like,
I didn't see After Earth. I didn't see that either.
Yeah. I Am Legend is good as well.
Yeah, I like that.
So it's like I just think he gets to hold, like, there's not many people that can hold a whole movie themselves.
But you know, like, I'm not thinking it's calculated. You know, like, you lot are gonna help me hold the whole movie. You can help me hold the movie. I can help me hold the movie.
100%. I just think
I'm saying, like, watch this. Let me just think that the other day, because he couldn't go on this, but I'm just to your point. The other day he goes like, because it's all calculated. Come and sit down with like what you would do for me, how he goes. What was it? He goes, what are the top 10 best grossing movies ever? Because he wanted to get to number 1. Yeah. He breaks it down. He's doing some interview, but he's saying, how did I get to where it was? Like, he goes, you looked at all of them, then he looked like the formulas, then he saw like sci-fi, then he saw like sci-fi with a creature, with a creature and a woman, a love interest. So he goes, those are the ones I went for, and this and this and this. Yeah. So it's all really calculated. So it's what you're saying.
No, definitely.
To be able to calculate and get...
That's what makes him, innit? You know, like, it's a lot. That's why I say he's in a league of his own, because he's like, he's not really, to me, he's not one of them technical actors where I'm like,
he's more like, he's just got, I don't know, presence. Like,
and he's got that, he understands movie.
Yeah.
The whole movie world, because he's like,
it's a bit like Brad Pitt
Prince of
as well.
Bel-Air.
Brad Pitt's got a presence and stuff.
Because they've been in it from so young.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying to you? Them lot was raised in it.
We didn't mention Brad Pitt, did we?
No.
Brad Pitt killed me in Snatch as well.
I met Brad Pitt. I was on. I was a special action on the movie Fury.
Okay.
And so
the tank one.
Yeah, he was really nice, real nice guy. Yeah. Shia LaBeouf as well. He was one of the.
He's a fucking good actor as well.
Yeah, he's really like he's heavy. He's truthful. He's a great actor. Yeah. Who else was on there? Yeah, Brad Pitt was great. Even when they did a scene, I'd literally stand and watch everything. He did a scene and then he dropped a line. He was like to director David Ayer, like, I think I messed up a line in that one. Sorry about that. It's like, don't worry about it. We'll go again. Like, he's actually really quite a pleasant guy. You know, good guy.
British wise, quickly before we finish, Steve Coogan.
We said British ones. Gary Oldman's British, mate.
Okay, but we didn't say that many British.
Yeah, I said, but what's the other one? Dustin. No, what's that? What did I say?
Michael Fassbender, Tom Hardy.
We said Tom Hardy's British.
Daniel Day,
British, you know.
I said Bob Hoskins.
Daniel Day-Lewis is British. Tom Hardy will always do an accent, you see.
Tom Hardy went to Anna Shea, you know.
Serious? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Who's that?
Tom Hardy.
So he's local.
Yeah, he's from.
He's local.
He was originally from. What is it? Not Slough. I can't remember what it is.
Was it Coventry?
Marvin.
They said it's Coventry.
Clive Owen was from Coventry.
Clive Owen's a good actor.
Yeah,
He's alright. He's alright. Gets on my nerves a bit, but he's alright.
What's the guy from Full Monty again? Robert Carlyle.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh yeah. But he's Scottish. He's not British.
Yeah, but I said Britain. It's Scotland, not Britain.
They're still Britain.
Is it?
Yeah.
Alright. Sorry, Scots.
No,
Apart from part of Ireland, I don't think, but don't quote us on that.
Yeah.
Our geography obviously has failed in this.
Hugh Grant's quite good.
Hugh Grant's.
Was he alright in The Gentleman?
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's what I watched the other day. I was just making sure that was cool.
He's actually doing a character.
He killed The Gentleman.
Yeah,
he killed it.
Yeah. But still, Hugh Grant.
I like that. I think he's good.
I've enjoyed a lot of his
movies.
I just think he's wet. Like these, you know the guy in Notting Hill that opens the door, he's in the pants. When they're looking for Hugh Grant, but he's in the pants.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
He's a bit in it, like, you know, it's all right.
Rice Evans.
And he's like, he's fucking good.
Rice
He's
Evans.
good. He's the wife ones. He's good. He's funny. I don't like that guy.
Seth Rogen's a good actor.
Yeah, he's good. I like Seth Rogen good. Even the one you said first, the Steve Coogan.
Steve Coogan's
good. I like him. He's
from
good.
back in the day. Even because we spoke about
Edward Norton.
Edward Norton?
He's good.
We spoke about that woman.
Edward Norton's British.
You said Seth Rogen, so I threw in Edward Norton.
Yeah, but he's not British.
Seth Rogen.
Who?
No, I never said Seth Rogen.
No, he's not. I did, but I just came out of that from nowhere.
That's why I said Edward Norton.
You're trying, isn't he?
What's the woman we mentioned earlier from Nil by Mouth, and she used to
Kathy
play
Burke.
Yeah, Kathy Burke. She's for Harry Enfield and Kathy
Oh,
Burke.
the comedy, yeah.
Classics.
Yeah.
You gotta think about the levels.
Wayne and Waynetta.
Yeah.
What were they called?
No, they're called Harry. What did I just say?
Harry Enfield. They're called Wayne and Waynetta.
No, when they go on, that was one of their characters. Yeah.
It's Kevin and Perry.
Yeah, that's actually a good film.
That was a big film.
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty cool.
Even though it's old school, you have to watch it.
I'll watch it. I'll check it out.
Hilarious, bro.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it was good. I remember that. That was good.
And she's a boy, like, you know that.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's good. So funny.
Harry Enfield's classic as well. I don't know what happened to Harry Enfield? Is he still doing stuff?
Yeah, I think it's just
enjoying his money, mate.
Yeah.
Remember, vegans, unless you carry it in your back, so it comes even if it comes by horseback, they're still doing something bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
To the environment. Now, unless you live your life the best way you can. Love yourself. I love you. I love myself. I love everyone in the studio too. This is Craig Sirens, the voice behind the camera, the wizard. Come on, thank you for coming.
My pleasure. Thanks, guys.